Ladies and gentlemen, a star is born. Oh, it is 5:46. I'm Danny Bonaduce, and this is KZOK. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Are you talking about the movie trailer?
I'm not.
Everybody's losing their mind about Lady Gaga and the Star is Born movie.
Why? Is she not great? Because
No.
if she's great, there's kind of nothing to talk about. She's always great.
I guess she is. I haven't watched it in its entirety, but it's mind-blowingly awesome, and Lady Gaga is going to win an Academy Award.
Did you know, what's his name from Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
Is the guy in it?
Yeah.
And he sings?
Sings fantastic, too.
Who the hell knew that was going to happen?
That was
you
what
hate
surprised
that?
me, yeah.
Yes, double win. You know, it doesn't
Totally.
actually bother me, but it irks my wife so much that it now bothers me by proxy, if you will.
Really?
Twofers or, I don't know, great actors who all of a sudden put it on that. You know who did it, and now is kind of laughable, is Eddie Murphy.
Oh,
Put
yeah.
out a #1 hit. My
Yeah.
girl likes to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time.
I don't know that he qualifies as an awesome singer and a great actor.
Actually, it's just that song. I've heard him sing. He did a club
Really?
act.
Really?
And he can sing. But one of the things he does is he can sing like other people who sing really well.
Oh,
He did
gotcha.
a
It's like he's doing
Jackson thing,
impressions.
and he sang, no, by himself, he sings great, but he does a trick, if you will, to get you to realize, oh, he sings great, is he does Billie Jean or something like that, and then he just hits it out of the park.
But Bradley Cooper, that's just not fair.
No, I just didn't see that one coming with that kind of talent. I'm surprised. So it's funny. 2/3, I think, if I'm doing my math right, of the women who have played the starring role in this have not been beautiful by standard. Like, hey, let's look at them. Aren't they beautiful?
Right.
It was Judy Garland was the
Yeah.
first one, beautiful. Second one was Barbara Streisand.
Not beautiful.
Not that
Yeah.
beautiful. Kind of like if you want to be this guy, she's beautiful when she sings. No, she's still rough to look at, but sings like a freaking angel. And Lady Gaga,
Not beautiful.
not beautiful, right? I'm not gonna get beat up by that. Not what we would call textbook beautiful by today's standards
Yeah.
of beautiful. Although she is now and runs around at size 0 now. She didn't used to do that. She's doing a lot of that now, so she's all skinny. But I don't know that skinny equates beauty. But but again, such a talent. I'm really interested to see how this one works out because I've seen all 3 versions. And in the one with Chris Christopherson and Barbara Streisand, Elvis Presley was slated to play that role.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And backed out at the very last minute.
I'm glad he did.
Me too. Although who knows? That was a twofer guy. He did because he did crap movies. You think he's a crap actor, but you can see him in some small things where he's really good. So maybe he was a twofer. I'm not sure. So I tell you why, A Star is Born. They're born in my house. And you'd think with my incredible star-like characteristics,
Yeah.
we don't need any more stars in the Bonaduce household. But my wife writes this article, 600 to 800 words every month for a magazine called Queen Anne Living,
Yeah.
who in my opinion treats her rather poorly.
Oh.
But we won't talk about that. No, for some reason, they won't send her any copies.
Oh,
Oh.
that's weird.
Isn't that the weirdest thing ever? And they're not like in things where you can just go get them out of those stands and they're free.
Yeah.
They mail them to you if you're in the right zip code. She hangs out with and says, will you send me more? And she said, oh, yeah. And then does not.
Oh.
So I think it's going to be, there's a new publisher now or something, so maybe we can get them. But she's done a bunch. She did England, and she did Vegas, and she did Scottsdale, and she did Rome. I mean, like, each one of these articles costs one of us about $6,000. Okay, so start being nice and sending out some articles. But anyway, at one point, she said solemnly, and I understand this completely, she said, does anybody really read this thing? And my instinct was to say, no. But I did not. I said, oh, man. It's just because they only mail it out. It's not in the free thing.
Yeah.
Everybody in Queen Anne's living this. And one day when Amy and I were on our walk, some guy said, oh, I wondered when I run into you. I saw you on the cover of Queen Anne Living when we first moved there. They did an article on us.
Yeah.
But I've never heard another thing since then. And she said, she wrote this one. She said, we went to Liverpool and I'm this kind of fan, and discussed John Lennon's bathroom or whatever the hell she talked about, and wrote this whole thing about being a Beatles fan in Liverpool, staying at the Hard Day's Night Hotel. And she said, I said to her, no, a Beatles fan, I promise you now. You're going to be at Safeway, and a Beatles fan is going to come and go, man, you've been to John Lennon's bathroom. Did you pee? That'd be awesome. What'd you do at John Lennon's bathroom? Well, I'm a crazy Beatles fan, because we run into those all the time.
Sure.
And, well, that didn't happen.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, I was like, what can I do about, there's only so many strings a guy can pull, and that's not one of them. And so we're outside. We have these new bushes in front of my house because the tree in front of my house, you guys might remember this, half the tree broke off and tried to kill me.
Fell down.
More than once, because then smaller branches fell, but a big one fell. It killed what turns out to be a Japanese maple. Turned out that's a tree I like. I didn't know any of these things. And then killed these 3 bushes, foxwoods, boxwoods, something, I don't know, bushes with greenness. Killed them too, and we've replanted them 2 or 3 times, and they never take hold. So we have new ones now, and we're always out there watering. So we go out to the front yard, and we're watering this thing, and I'm beside the side of the house doing something with bushes. I don't even know what it is. And I hear people talking to Amy, and I can't ascertain what it's about. So I sneak up. I don't sneak up. I just walk up, and they still don't see me because I'm behind bushes. And she is, oh, no, we read that article all the time, you and your husband, and we really like the pictures. That's wonderful. And what I wanted to do is say thank you. But I was so excited that this was happening for Amy, I leapt out of the bushes. And the lady goes, oh, like that. So I scare Amy's first fan. I said, like, literally, she put her hands on her heart like this.
Oh.
I said, you don't know. And she totally almost backed up into the street. But then I had a chance to tell her, oh, honestly, I said, we have been waiting for you. I cannot tell you what you have done for the Bonaduce household. She said, oh, it's a great article. That's why I read the thing. It's like, why do you read the thing? But the article, I would think, and from now people I've heard this from that know she does it, say the article is the best thing in it, and is, and it's not the best thing in it because it has a lot of pictures of me. I will not say that. That'd be stupid to say that, and possibly inaccurate to say it's better because it holds a lot of pictures of me. I would never take my wife's sunshine away.
But it's not worse.
It's certainly not worse.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, and I like her style on this. I got to give Amy this. Like, either one of us could take the picture of the other one, or we could ask somebody, hey, man, would you mind taking a picture of me and my wife in front of the John Lennon's bathroom?
Yeah.
And they'd say, yeah, but no, she only takes selfies because she thinks it's part of the vibe. So every article's a picture of our left eyes. Or maybe my right eye and her left eye. I don't know, but it's you can see her arm is all the way stretched out, and there's just a portion of our head. But I think she's right that adds a little something to it. So what you got is 800 good words, pictures of John Lennon's bathroom, and my wife's great writing. I think that's enough.
News is brought to you by Les Schwab. 5 people are confirmed dead in an early morning explosion that destroyed a rental cabin near Brinnon. Neighbors reported the explosion and the ensuing fire around 1 a.m. This was on Salmon Canal Street. They said that this was a cabin they had rented, they said, and it was gone, that the entire cabin was just obliterated. There's still no word on what triggered the explosion, but the Washington State Patrol and the ATF are on the scene helping in the investigation.
Wow. And I'm assuming 5 people is a whole family.
Yeah.
It does sound like that. They have not confirmed identities. No identities have been released yet to the media. It could be a group of friends, could be a bachelor party, it could be a family on vacation. Officials say they will release more information later this morning. And there are reports that Jeff Bezos' home was targeted by burglars who ended up leading cops on a crazy car chase. Now, this happened to his home in Beverly Hills. And according to law enforcement, they tried to break in. They smashed a window. Something scared them off. And then they fled.
Crazy attack robots. That's what you break into Bezos' house. You don't think something terrible is going to happen to you?
I assume he has decent security.
Yeah.
You would think so. They didn't say what scared them, if it was somebody inside. Was it a deadly robot? Was it a housekeeper? Was it just the beeping of security? But they fled, and they got into a car, led police in a car chase, and then the bad guys won. They got away, and they are still at large.
Wow, that never happens.
Yeah.
It
With
never
helicopters.
You got
and
helicopters, you got
radios.
dogs, you got mace. I don't know how that would help you at 100 miles an hour. But, yeah,
But
you got
I'm not
mace.
going up against Mace.
Right.
Yeah.
And another sad story in the news, this one out of Oregon. One person died in a 3-car crash that started when the lead driver stopped to let ducks cross the road. The Washington State Patrol says that the first car stopped on the I-205 ramp because there were ducks in the road.
Yeah.
The second car, a white Nissan, slowed down behind the first car, but then a Dodge pickup crashed into the Nissan. That Nissan driver died at the scene, so the middle car.
The middle car died?
Yep. The middle car driver died at the scene.
How fast do you have to be going to rear-end a guy and kill him?
Yeah, really fast.
Yeah, police say it does appear that the Dodge pickup truck driver was not paying attention. Didn't see that the cars had stopped and just plowed right into it.
I was going to say, sadly, I don't know this to be sad at all. Not paying attention under normal circumstances is not illegal. You know, we kid Paul about texting and driving.
Yeah.
That now is officially illegal. But I think when you do the hands-free driving and you're talking on the phone, you say, no, I said I will pick up that you are now officially distracted driving still,
Oh, sure.
I think. So I don't know that necessarily, if that guy's not going way too fast, I don't think he's in any trouble, although he has to live with killing a guy.
Yeah.
The G7 summit ended not in international harmony, which was what some had hoped for. There was
Well, they were stupid, to be honest. Well, maybe to hope, not stupid. To believe, stupid.
But I don't think anyone anticipated President Trump calling Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, dishonest and weak and more.
Oh, I did. I don't know that I picked those exact words, but I had him doing something stupid, didn't you?
Yeah, flipping over the Monopoly board and storming off.
Totally had it. Like anybody that's going, oh my God, he said some stuff he probably shouldn't. That's our president now. Don't be surprised.
Well, Donald Trump's comments were after Trudeau criticized Donald Trump's new tariffs on steel and aluminum. He said, Canadians, we're polite, we're reasonable, but we also will not be pushed around. And then Donald Trump fired back, saying Justin Trudeau acted so meek and mild during the summit, very dishonest, very weak, based on Justin's false statements at his news conference and the fact that Canada is charging massive tariffs to our U.S. farmers, workers, and companies. I have instructed our U.S. reps not to endorse any communique.
All right, by the way, and do not come to me for your political stuff. If you're out there going, well, what's Bonaduce going to say? Because I think I'm going to change the way I vote and what country I live in. That would be stupid of you. Don't do that. But I did look into it just for fun, and he's right. They charge 300% on milk. Canada does to us.
They don't want
That's
our milk.
real. No, they do want our milk, and they make us pay for it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Donald Trump is in Singapore. He met with the dude who runs Singapore today and is supposed
The dude who runs Singapore?
I can't remember.
Dennis Rodman? No, wait. He's just
No,
there.
he runs
He's
North
just there to
Korea.
help out with North Korea.
I can't remember what his title is.
Well, I'm betting it's not dude, but I like
He's
it.
not a president.
Makes it seem cash.
He's not a prime minister.
Emperor.
He's not an emperor. He's a dude. The
Huh?
dude who
Chancellor.
runs. You think he might be a chancellor.
All right.
Chancellor.
Cam
dude.
Chancellor. That's who runs
No, he
Singapore.
does not.
Positive that's not the thing.
But he met with him this morning and then is supposed to meet with Kim Jong-un tomorrow. Now, Kim Jong-un is already there. His impersonator's already there.
By the way, did we did we end up paying for his hotel room at the Four Seasons?
They have not said.
I think that's funny. I get it. I would do it. If, I'm us and we're as rich as we are, and that's the way you get this guy to the table. Because believe it or not, even though he builds wild buildings and does crazy things, they don't have any money. These
Yeah.
people are starving. If that's what it took to get a guy with nuclear weapons to the table for me to pay for his suite at $1,000 a night or whatever it is, maybe more than that for a presidential suite.
Yeah.
I'd do it. We're America. Go ahead. What the hell?
But I
and
think-
get him a decent haircut.
You just you slip it under the table, like envelope full of cash to the dude who runs Singapore.
No.
Exactly.
And then have him pay for the.
I will tell you why you don't do that. And that is because everybody's looking for a scandal everywhere. You see Pruitt, what is he, the head of the EPA?
Yeah.
Well, bought some expensive lotion and we're going to go hang the dude?
spent millions
get
and millions of
on
dollars on
lotion, I get it.
other
But we're
things.
going to send a guy out to find if his wife can buy a Chick-fil-A restaurant. That's the new one this morning.
Right, yeah.
You shouldn't do it, but we're all... Money under the envelope? There? No, everything's got to be above board, which I think makes things difficult. I like shady.
Yeah.
Well, Paul's right, though. They do think that's what will happen, that we will take care of it, but someone else will say, oh, yeah, we're all helping to make sure that North Korea gets a nice room.
Right,
Yeah,
but I
I mean-
will count to 10 until that's discovered that that's not what happened.
Right. The way you do it on the up and up is you say, we're going to reimburse Singapore for some of the security costs.
This all goes to what happens is whatever I spent here, he's going to pay to build the wall, whatever. You got to say something, but you can't just pay for stuff.
All right, so it looks like Donald Trump did meet with the prime minister, but they are parliamentary and they do have a president too. So I don't know why he didn't meet with the president. He met with the PM.
Well, England's parliamentary and has a queen. I don't understand any of that.
Yeah.
The Szechuan Airlines pilot who was halfway sucked out of the cockpit window has been rewarded, as has his co-pilot. The guy who didn't get sucked out the window got a bonus of $777 for
To not get sucked out a window?
well, the dude who got sucked out and the other people who were the flight attendants also did get bonuses. But the guy who safely landed the plane
Right.
when the other pilot got halfway sucked out the window got a huge bonus.
$770?
$777,000.
that's
What
different.
airline is this?
Szechuan.
Because we can't do that here. We can't give a guy a bonus of almost $1 million. And by the way, why? Put him on TV, let Oprah talk to him, but he
Yeah.
did his job. Your job is to land safely.
They also gave
And
him
I don't
a
even
title.
believe somebody got sucked out the window either.
You don't believe
No,
that?
I don't believe it for a minute. He'd be dead. It didn't happen.
They said that this guy got the title of Hero Captain of China's Civil Aviation.
I'll try pitting that in a business career.
Right.
Now, the windshield shattered at 32,000 feet, and his co-pilot was wearing a seatbelt, halfway pulled him out the window,
What a terrible seatbelt.
and the co-pilot suffered just some scratches, and they said they were able to calmly land the plane. The other pilot...
I'm sure there was nothing calm going on in that cockpit.
And they're making this guy here that got sucked out the window who didn't. He put on a seatbelt like he's supposed to, but got winds of 600 miles an hour in the face and sucked him into the seatbelt, whatever that is.
Yeah.
But he's Knights of the Grand Poobah storytelling dude. That's the thing I'm going to give him.
Well, we know factually that the woman who died getting sucked out the plane, that pilot did very calmly land that airplane.
Right.
These guys are made of hardy stock, these pilots. That you know somebody's been sucked out the window and you still caught and your plane is going haywire. You're like,
Oh, that's
all right.
that's a passenger in the back. You're okay there.
Yeah, you're fine.
The dude who used to be sitting next to you is now partially outside.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
freaking
impressed.
I'm freaking out a little.
A surprised Alaska family captured video of a party crasher. I almost said wedding crasher, but this wasn't a wedding. This was a kid's party.
You know, we don't read your news. You could have said wedding crasher. We just said, wow, that's weird.
This was a backyard birthday party for a 14-year-old
In Alaska?
in Alaska.
Ain't it cold?
Right now, no.
All year, all the time. Ain't it Siberia?
They actually have a swimming pool because it gets very hot in the
Craziness.
summertime in Alaska, believe it or
What do
not.
the polar bears do?
Okay, so they were filming the
Yeah.
birthday party when
Because
somebody
Johnny's so adorable.
crashed the party, and that was a young bull moose. The young bull moose walks in the backyard, sees the swimming pool, and goes for a dip.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
awesome. Like the goes there. I would pay money to have that happen.
They said that
Even if my kid had to take a minor kick to the head, as long as he's going to be all right, I would still pay money to have that happen.
Plus, you're gonna fight the young bull moose anyway. Right?
I'm not going to necessarily. I just would. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to fight every moose I see, Paul. What am I, a lunatic?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. They said the moose hung out for about 30 minutes, splashed around, played with toys, just was hanging out in the swimming pool, and the entire family stayed up on the deck. Nobody went swimming. And then after
Oh,
30
man,
minutes,
nobody wrote it? Think about it. If it's got all four hooves off the ground, it can't do anything. Jump on it. Hold its rack.
it was a bull moose. It's a baby.
A bull moose is always a, baby? I totally
young
didn't
bull
know
moose
that. Oh.
without its
Yeah, even better.
Yeah. If it doesn't have its rack, suddenly I'm not afraid of it.
See?
I'll
Welcome
fight.
to my world.
I'll fight a baby bull
I'm
moose.
you go.
guessing you guys have never seen a moose in person up
But
close.
you, sir, are a bad person, and I'm not.
I mean, I'd fight most baby animals. I think, especially if they're like partially drowning.
Barely
at the
can
time.
walk yet. They're
Yeah.
still like those giraffes that fall over.
Oh, yeah.
I'd fight with them too.
Kick their
See,
ass.
if you've been listening, Paul's going to kick one of their ass. He's joined my team.
On to Georgia. They're very close to Florida, and now we are realizing things are not right in Georgia.
Yeah.
At least in Oconee County. Sheriff's deputies posted to Facebook an unusual find involving a female inmate. She was not feeling well. As she said, I'm not feeling well. And they said, well, what's wrong? And according to the sheriff's department, this morning, a female inmate came to us from the county state pen. Per policy, we searched her and pulled out of her birth canal 7 pairs of tweezers, bobby pins. They said pencils and pens. So pens, pencils, 7 pairs of tweezers and bobby pins.
At least she's ready if somebody goes, got a pen. Yeah, I do actually. I had 7.
They posted to social media about this find, and some people said, well, why would she have those things? What's the problem?
It's a crazy thing, right?
No, she was smuggling these items in.
I mean,
Tweezers?
is there great value in tweezers and ballpoint pens?
He says, bobby pins and tweezers can be improvised tools to open handcuffs. Pens and pencils.
How many pairs of handcuffs are they putting on this lady?
Come on.
He said, I have no idea why the pens and pencils, but they are usually used for tattoos. You mix
Right. Yeah.
with spit or water, and you got a prison
You know,
tat.
that sounds very sanitary to me. Get
Ew.
a bowl of like some Bic ink.
Yeah.
Get, Bertha and a loogie in it and then
Right.
scrape your flesh open. Yeah, you don't have hepatitis.
Sign me up.
Ew, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A North Carolina man received a check from his bank for $1 million.
Good. The man worked hard.
Eric Gabriel of Waxhaw said he was expecting a check from Bank of America, but not for $1 million. There were way too many zeros.
So how's he doing down in Mexico?
He said, I could feel it in my flesh. I want this. We freaked out. You kind of jump up and down, but I knew it wasn't mine. All those thoughts run through your head like, oh, I can do this. I'll just go to Mexico.
Yeah.
I might never have to work again. He and his wife prayed on it and said, gotta return it.
No, you don't.
I mean, you got to return it just because when you try to cash it, they're going to realize their
Well,
mistake.
if you could do it, you could super easily, safely, year after year after year, make 50 grand off the $1 million. That's 5%. You can make 5% in the stock market. Currently, the stock market's out of control. You could do 25%. But very safely, you'd have 50 grand a year in Mexico.
Sure.
You're all good.
But you've got to deposit that check somewhere, and then they'll run it
Sweden.
and realize that
Switzerland.
it's no good.
Cayman Islands. There's a bunch of them.
He said he returned the money and they said, oops, we made a mistake. He said that's all they said. Oops.
They don't give him like a 10% of finder's fee.
Nope. No finder's fee. And according to him, no sorry.
Really?
Oops.
Oops.
He returned that money and he got an oops.
What bank is this?
Bank of America.
Well, you should protest. You should do something. Yeah. Because I would see, Paul's right. I mean, a 10% finder's fee sounds reasonable. That's $100,000.
Yeah, it's a lot of
I'm not
money.
sure. But 25 G's.
I'm returning that money. If I got a check for $1 million, I would absolutely return it.
Well,
from
we're
my
all
bank.
returning it because we don't think we could get away with it.
Yeah.
What about if you thought you could get away with it?
I don't think, even if I could cash it, they would still find me.
Again, the question is if you were sure you could run to Mexico and never get caught.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Totally.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not even a thought.
Yeah.
How
Go on
much
there.
was it supposed to
Buy
be
a
for?
bunch of baby moose and fight them.
Right.
1,000.
$1,000.
What was $1,000?
It was supposed to be $1,000.
Yeah, this guy's an idiot.
Philadelphia police were called to 50th and Market Streets
Okay.
after 2 women noticed a 7-year-old boy sitting alone inside a parked school bus. According to the 2 women who found him or spotted him, they said, we talked to him through the window, asked his name, asked if he was okay. He was calm, but a little scared. Turns out this is not the first, but the second time he fell asleep on the ride home on the school bus, and the drivers left him on the bus.
Well, that driver's got to be fired because it's normal to fall asleep on the school bus, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of the kids, the first time the bus driver was fired, this time it just happened, and now they're investigating, figuring out how could this happen twice?
I'll tell you, there was a time I've had the pleasure, much like blind people, of finding a kid's mom every now and again. You take his hand and you go up to the checkout or customer service or whatever it is, and they page mommy. It's going to sound really sad, but you couldn't pay me to touch a kid, hold his hand and take him anywhere and say, where's your mommy?
yeah,
Those
absolutely.
days are over, dude. You stay right here. I'll start screaming. But remember, I never touched your head or nothing, no how, little bastard. That's what I call them, little bastards when they're lost. But it's a sad time, isn't it?
It really
I would
is,
never say, come on with me, kid. Never.
Well, the kid was locked on a school bus, so even if you wanted to grab him, Danny, you couldn't because he had been locked inside of the school bus, and they probably wouldn't have found him till the next morning when they took it out again.
Saves me from this conversation.
Yes. Police in New Jersey have named a pig they found roaming outside a Dunkin' Donuts. Neptune police say they
Do you want to do the jokes right here? Or do you think, let's not do the jokes right here. Let's not do the jokes.
Yeah.
So there's a pig at a donut store.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. It's very nice.
Police responded to the reports that there was a pig outside of Dunkin' Donuts, so the pigs...
Getting harder.
The police showed up, and they have named him Pork Roll.
Where is this? What city?
Neptune, New Jersey.
New Jersey. Pork roll is big in New Jersey
Yep.
and
Yeah.
delicious, by the way.
They posted to Facebook, yes, it's true, and yes, we are well aware of the irony, but
See,
here's Pork Roll.
if the cops are doing the jokes, we really don't have to do the jokes.
And a man is suing the company who owns Pornhub after his picture was used in an advertisement on a pornography website. Edward Kelly is suing MindGeek USA in civil court. And according to documents, that a friend just happened to be looking, we just found this random website
Right.
and spotted the picture of this guy with an advertisement that said, make $752 a day like me. And it's very clear his face, his baseball cap, and he owns the copyright to the picture since he took it, did not consent to it being used on a porn website, and is now seeking $1 million.
As kind of as well he should, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Although, the kind of porn that I watch, it's this free porn channel. It's the only one I know the address to. I'm sure that it'd be easy and I can find another, but that's the one I've been looking about since Gibbons told me the address 8 years ago.
Because you used to pay for it.
No, never. It's free porn. That's the point of the thing.
No, but he had to tell you because you thought you had to pay for it. So he wanted to tell you it's for free, and he gave you the website, and you've never looked back.
Well, that's close enough to accurate. So anyway, the thing that I see, it's 12 squares of porn, and you get to pick yours. And if you don't like those, you click it. It's another 12 squares of porn, small square, half the size of a deck of cards. And there's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those. And by the end of the day, they've all been switched, meaning everybody's doing porn is my thing. Yet, I've never seen one of those girls or guys on the street and gone, hey, porn lady.
Oh, you don't
Never.
bump into
I
them.
don't know how that's possible. That many people could be doing porn, and I don't know 'em.
Well, if he wins his $1 million, depending on how long the like case takes, he could be making $752 a day. Their ad might be accurate. Then he has to give the money back, right?
But you guys are always giving people prison sentences. We'll reward him. Does he get $1 million for having his face on a porn
Sure.
site when he doesn't do porn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
You'll try going to the PTA after that. And
Right,
even if
yeah.
they haven't seen it, you don't know. You're thinking, God, have they all seen that I work for porn?
But if they have seen it, that you know that they look at that website. So how much shame can they really put on you?
Plenty.
Okay.
Because you can't prove any of that. It would be embarrassing to this guy to give him his money.
Yeah.
It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida story of the day.
Yay!
A woman was arrested and admitted to the police she had been drinking. This happened after Lady Lake police were called to a golf course.
It's a Lady Lake.
Lady Lake.
Isn't
Lady
that
Lake,
butter?
Florida.
Land O'Lakes.
Yeah, there's something you can do to the Land Lakes wrapper that makes it look like her boobs are out. I forget what it is. Some kid
I've
showed
heard
me one
that,
time,
yeah.
Oh, fun.
Suzette Ruth Martin was driving a golf cart. She was taking it out of the garage when she slammed into some landscaping and her passenger was thrown out. Well, cops were called to the scene and damage had been done. And she said, I have been drinking, but not too much, just 14 or 15 beers.
That's a fair amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's whether it's today, this afternoon, or in her lifetime, it depends on how fast. Did they make her blow into stuff?
They tried to make her blow into stuff. She was unable to partake. She said, oh, I have emphysema. And they said, no, I think you're just drunk. 14 or 15 beers. I will tell you in all dead honesty, I have never consumed that much alcohol in my entire life.
Well,
15 beers in one day?
I've
Never.
gotten really drunk on beer before, but only because there was no other good, reasonable alcohol around. I don't think I've ever had anywhere near that amount.
That's insane.
But I had a friend in high school admitted to drinking a case a day, a case of 28 beers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Florida.
Oh,
Florida.
oh, kid.
News is brought to you by Les Schwab. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back with entertainment news, TV channel A&E responding to a controversial documentary they're about to air, and it involves Danny Bonaduce. It was a huge weekend in sports and not without some drama. We'll tell you about that and the Mariners action all next. Starting with some music news, starting with some sad music news. Mick Fleetwood says former Fleetwood Mac guitarist Danny Kirwan has died at the age of 68. Mick Fleetwood said in a Facebook post that Kirwan died Friday in London, no cause of death. He was only part of the band from 68 to 72, playing on early albums like Then Play On, Blues Jam at Chess, Kiln House, and Future Games. He was kicked out of the band for alcohol abuse, anger, and he had started smashing a lot of equipment.
I was kicked out of a marriage for those exact same reasons. You're an angry drunk. You can't possibly stay here another day.
Smashing equipment, though, that's just like part of what you do as a rock band.
Not in
right?
Fleetwood Mac.
Not in Fleetwood Mac.
Would
yeah.
never imagine seeing that in Fleetwood Mac.
And especially when you're starting and you don't have a lot of replacement equipment.
Yeah.
There's been some backlash, but A&E Network says it plans to air a 2-hour documentary special called David Cassidy, The Last Session.
Boy, am I curious about all this, because there has been backlash in my personal life
Yeah.
that I flat out didn't expect. Sue Schifrin Cassidy wrote, "There's nobody named Cassidy that would touch this." And I went, yeah, there was. His name was David. And I was happy to be in it. But it turns out, to my surprise, the Cassidy boys, the 3 Cassidy boys, Sean, Patrick, and Ryan, were not interviewed, were not willing to talk.
Oh, wow.
I really like those guys, and I think they're all mad at me now.
Well, the backlash is because it certainly is not portraying David Cassidy in a good light. Here's a little bit of audio of David Cassidy.
There is no sign of me having dementia at this stage of my life. It was complete alcohol poisoning. And the fact is, I lied about my drinking.
So do you think your memory loss was related to alcohol?
The head doctor at the hospital, he said, "I believe that your dementia was directly related to your alcoholism."
Okay, A, lady on the phone, burn in hell. In all seriousness, he's filming everything. He gave them everything. That's a call. There's no cameras. There's somebody calling to check on him.
This is closer to his passing.
Yeah, and Paul does something Paul almost never does, makes a super valid point, and that is...
That people who have dementia are going to say, I don't have dementia, right?
Right. And the other side of it, the flip side of that, is people who are drunk, out of their mind, don't know what they're doing. Say, yeah, there's no dementia in my family. Lost their mind. But the fact is, I think that a lot of people think that he was willing to be followed around by cameras implies they had the right to record him secretly. I disagree. I think you needed his permission to tape that phone call and certainly to air that phone call.
Well, according to A&E, they released a statement that says, late last year, grappling with the onset of dementia and heading into the recording studio to record a tribute to his father, Jack Cassidy, David invited a documentary crew to chronicle the journey. During the production, David fell gravely and unexpectedly ill.
I'm sorry, did you say David hired a crew?
This is the statement from A&E. During the production, invited a documentary crew.
Yeah.
During production, he fell gravely and unexpectedly ill. It was during this time he revealed to producers his struggle with alcoholism that had continued up through the recording session, and that his doctors concluded alcohol poisoning had been the chief cause of his tragic health decline, including dementia.
He said, and I believe I quote, although I've never heard it before, this is the first time, that he said, head doctor at the hospital said that my alcoholism was totally responsible for my dementia.
Right. Yeah.
Having said he has dementia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't air this stuff. That I just want to punch somebody in the face. And you guys met that producer. Remember him?
Yeah.
What a piece of crap that guy is. I hated that guy.
So are you saying you don't think that that David had the capacity to give permission for them to film this and air it?
I don't know about that. I don't know how far gone the poor guy was. All I'm saying is I think he needed to give them permission to record surreptitious phone call, and he didn't. I don't hear that anywhere. They just recorded a poor, drunk, demented cat to say whatever they needed him to say, and shame on him.
Well, for all we know, throughout this entire documentary, he behaves in that fashion. That phone call might not be an exclusive. He might say that on camera. We don't know yet.
I do.
Have you watched the whole
Yeah,
thing?
I have not watched 1 second of it. I can't do it. But Amy has.
Yeah.
And, I feel fairly small about this because the main concern is, how do I come off, honey? That's very important. How do I come off? And by the way, we come off just fine. They taped in here. Was it in here or the other studio?
The old studio.
The old studio. But whatever it is, we represent this radio station and this company at this point, and we come off just fine. David has nothing but problems, and they, almost everybody in it really don't know David Cassidy particularly. Sam, his best friend, is in it, and a couple of Alice Cooper is in it. So there's a couple of people in it, but as for people who knew him really well, it's mostly me.
It is surprising that none of the family was talked to or didn't agree to go on camera.
No, they were talked to in the sense of, hey, I think you should do this. Your brother's in a big way. And they said, no, get away from me.
A&E tonight at 9 is when you can watch that.
And by the way, David Cassidy is tragic, but we're awesome. That's important.
How about some good music news?
Sure.
The
What do you got?
iHeartRadio Music Festival is back with performances by Justin Timberlake, Jack White, Imagine Dragons, Leonard Skinner, and many more. It's happening September 21st and 22nd at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. There's exclusive access to the Capital One cardholders. That's a pre-sale that starts tomorrow at 10. You can see the full lineup at iHeartRadio.com/Capital One. Plus, we'll give you another chance to win your way in later this hour.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sony has announced a 2-day-long Ghostbusters festival to coincide with the film's 35th anniversary. It was released in 1984, and they will be selling 35 years of the gang, so they have teamed up with Ghost Corp and Wizard World to throw a 2-day event in Culver City, California next year.
Okay, I was totally in, and then they said Culver City.
Yeah,
Now
me
I'm out.
too.
What's Culver City?
Nothing. That's what.
And just not right here. Like, do it in Seattle so we can go.
Yeah,
to it.
but it's. I was going to say pick the biggest dive city in Seattle. Nah, that's probably not good for our careers. It's nowhere.
I'll go.
It used to be factories, and now they have been changed into other things. They say it's hipsterish now. When I used to work there, all the episodes I shot of Chips were there.
Okay.
And it's like nothing is there.
I think that's why they chose it, though. It's where the Sony Pictures studio lot
Yes,
is.
that's where I
So
worked.
they need a big place to put it. It'll take place June 8th and 9th, and they're calling it Ghostbusters.
Sounds fun.
Does
Yeah,
sound fun.
It does.
Disneyland's long-awaited change to Pirates of the Caribbean is underway, with female pirates joining the crew. They have hired someone to be Red, who is the brassy buccaneer who will take the stage as guests pass through the town of Puerto Dorado.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts of the ride.
You'll finally get to meet her when you get on and off the ride. And they said that it closed for maintenance. Now they've opened it, and Red is part of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, but that's a real human. That's not one of those animatronic things.
I assumed it was a female. They said a female pirate joining the crew.
Right.
I'm
I thought they
assuming
were
it's a
all
human.
robots. Though.
I thought
didn't
they were
know.
all robots, but the way you said it on front door, it might be,
I've never
"Arr,
been
come in
there."
and enjoy the ride, me
Yeah.
bucko." And I said, "Bucko, don't get crazy."
Maybe it is like Westworld. I have no idea. I just
Because
know
you've
it's
never been to Disney.
correct.
Right.
And you didn't have toys and you weren't allowed to watch Disney
Correct.
movies.
You weren't allowed to watch Disney movies? That's new. I didn't
Well, I
know
was
that.
like, we didn't have cable. What was I supposed to watch them on?
The screen?
Oh, like in a
On-
movie theater?
yeah,
No,
on
the first
beta.
movie I ever saw was Nosferatu.
What is wrong with your parents, man?
Seriously.
I had snuck it, and it was an art film house. So I saw
All right.
Nosferatu, and it scared the crap out
So
of me.
when they say she will greet you when you go in and go out, it's like other rides. It could be, "I hope you enjoyed the ride, me bucko. I'll make you walk the plank next time."
Yeah.
It's one of those things, or it's a lady. Because you said hired, I think.
All I know is that the press announcement was that Pirates of the Caribbean has a female pirate joining the crew. I don't know that means a human or of robot.
Not because I don't care that much, but if they say hired, then I got to believe it's a person.
Farrah Fawcett and Ryan O'Neal's son, Redmond O'Neal, has been charged with attempted murder and assault after he severely injured 2 people during a string of attacks in Los Angeles.
Didn't he already kill somebody at some point in his life?
He's had lots of legal trouble. I don't know if there was killing involved.
I don't know that he murdered somebody.
I don't think murdered. I think was it a ski boat accident or?
It does sound familiar.
But
yeah.
there's another famous guy, but they could have been in the boat together. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think Christian Brando, who is now dead, might have been involved, but I thought Redmond might have been involved.
I know he's spent a lot of time behind bars. I thought that was all for drug offenses.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the guy, if he is the guy that killed the guy, he didn't get arrested for it. It was an accident. It was on a ski. Somebody was skiing behind him.
He is 33 years old.
Jeez.
Was identified as a suspect in an armed robbery, and then they realized that it wasn't just the robbery, that there was a huge string of incidents involving him, and he will be in court in, I believe, just 4 more days.
Wow.
FX has announced a 3rd season of the TV show Atlanta. This is produced by and starring Donald Glover. The show follows cousins as they navigate the Georgia music scene. It's supposed to be fantastic, and a 3rd season of Atlanta on FX.
Atlanta looks like a nice town, although in that show, it's that town of a lot of guns being
Yeah.
fired, but it looks like a good town.
A new Stranger Things book series is on the way. Season 3 of the Netflix show is currently being filmed in Atlanta, and the 3rd season is expected to show up next year, but before then, 2 books relating to the show will be released. Stranger Things, A World Turned Upside Down. They said this will be a hardcover gift book for young readers. It will be out in the fall. And then a prequel novel will also be released. So Stranger Things, unbelievably successful television production for Netflix. And now we're getting some books. We're also finding out some of the people joining next season. Carrie Elwes, who's known best for The Princess Bride and Saw, will be joining.
Those 2 movies
Stranger
have
Things?
so nothing in common.
Right.
Yep. Also, Jake Busey will be joining the cast of Stranger Things.
Who has equally crazy teeth.
Yeah.
Following his father's teeth.
He looks a
steps.
lot like his dad. Well, obviously a younger version.
He's
of his dad.
a pretty good pilot, from what I understand it. But I ran into him one time at the Big Bear airport, which means somebody rented a plane somewhere. 'Cause
Yeah.
you don't just get on a flight at Big Bear. But I saw him. He's standing next to what turned out to be his own plane, out of his mind, drunk.
Oh.
And I'm thinking,
That's
did
terrible.
he just get here? Because that's not good. Or is he just leaving? Because that's not good. But I never heard anything about it, so I guess he's all right.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Something must have happened to somebody.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Yeah.
I got a little excited on that.
1-800-DUI is pretty bitchin'. If you get drunk, don't do it and don't get behind the wheel of a car. But if you do, call 1-800-DUI. Don't delay. Call 1-800-DUI.
Friday, the Mariners beat the Rays 4-3.
Yeah.
Saturday, the Rays beat the Mariners 7-3. Yesterday, very exciting game. The Mariners threw out the runner at the plate to end and win the game 5-4.
Woo.
Today, yes, they are playing today. They welcome the Angels into town. Wade LeBlanc versus Andrew Heaney. First pitch at Safeco, 7:10. An exciting weekend for UW baseball. Washington knocked off Cal State Fullerton in 10 innings to win the Fullerton Super Regional. That clinches the team a trip to the College World Series for the first time in UW history. Now, they will be playing, it's Huskies Bulldogs next Saturday at either noon or 5. ESPN.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
People who I follow on Twitter are like out of their minds about Husky baseball. And up until yesterday, I had never heard anyone say anything about Husky baseball. It comes up in the news every now and again. But yeah, nobody's like, yeah woo, I'm such a big Husky baseball fan.
Until now.
Yeah.
Seahawks star safety Earl Thomas announced yesterday he will not attend this week's mandatory minicamp, quote, until my contract situation is resolved.
He's right then.
End quote.
It is resolved. You're currently under
You're
contract.
under contract.
Yeah.
Then he's wrong.
He wants a new contract.
Go to work.
Yeah.
He has a current contract that goes through the end of the year, next year, 5 years.
One more season, I believe.
One more season.
Yeah, then he needs to shut up and go to work. He's got a contract.
Well, he's entering the final year of his 4-year, $40 million deal and says that he wants to have some certainty regarding his future. He said that based on his production, he thinks he's earned that right. He wants a contract extension. Make it happen or he might not show up.
All right, here's the thing on that. You have to show up while negotiating.
Yeah.
You know, if you're worth the $40 million, they'll pay attention to you. I'm not giving anybody $40 million that can't do really amazing stuff. So I'd be very interested in giving you more money to do more stuff. You're in the catbird seat, but to make your fans upset because you won't go practice with something that has the word mandatory in it, you come off poorly.
And over the weekend in soccer action, the Sounders defeated DC United 2-1. Up next, Wednesday, the Sounders take on the New York Red Bulls. Match time is at 5. Yesterday in women's hoops, the Atlanta Dream beat the Storm 67-64. Tomorrow, the Chicago Sky come to town. Tip-off is at 7. Danny owes Paul
50 trillion.
50 trillion Zimbabwean dollars.
It seems like a lot of money, but I think it's about $43, which is
Isn't
not
that much?
nothing,
Last time I checked, I don't know. I forget. Isn't that weird that you can forget why you owe a guy $50 trillion? But I do. Why?
Because the Warriors defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 108-85 to win the NBA Finals 4-0. They are the NBA champions.
Yeah, swept them exactly like you guys said they would do, and I said they would not do. I was wrong. Here's $50 trillion.
Thanks, sir.
No problem.
Zimbabwean dollars.
Of course.
Yeah.
Clarify.
Nobody's got that much American dollars.
History was made over the weekend, and a lot of people are not happy about it. Justified, charged out of the gate, never gave up the lead and powered his way to victory, becoming the 13th horse to win the Triple Crown.
Why the hell would somebody be unhappy about this?
There's another horse that is also trained by Bob Baffert, the guy who trains Justify.
Yeah.
And many people believe that that horse was acting as a, how are they rephrasing this? As a bodyguard, preventing other horses from gaining ground.
Oh, like they do in NASCAR. Like they work together.
Like they do in football.
Yeah.
And they said that one of the other trainers said, I want an investigation done because they think it was a form of cheating.
Well, let me say I have a comment about this. To do that, to block the leader with a bodyguard, you got to have first and second place.
Yeah.
In what is turning in the Preakness. Unfriggin' likely. There's your plan.
Right.
I know I'm going to win this race, and while winning this race, I'm going to have the guy who comes in second block some people. I just don't believe for a moment. I think blocking people out of the chute is part of horse racing. And again, that's why it's a horse race, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think anything's going to come of this.
He says that he believes that Restoring Hope and Justify are stablemates and that he is calling for an investigation. He said, it seems to me he was more of an offensive lineman than a racehorse. Justify was a running back trying to run for a touchdown, and that this other horse was a long shot, and that's why he thinks that we shall see.
I don't think you're going to get it. I don't think you're going to. What a weird analogy. This guy's running for a touchdown. Can't you make it something more refined like ballet? Oh, he was running for a plie, but he couldn't pull it
I
off.
thought you were going to just take some credit there. You said just like football. You just used that analogy, and you were right.
Yeah, but I like ballet better. Have you seen me in a tutu? Wow, it's awesome.
Rafael Nadal won his record-extending 11th championship at the French Open yesterday, overcoming a problem with the finger on his racket-swinging hand. He bested a dude who had beat him in the past named Dominic Thiem, and Rafael Nadal won the French Open.
Yay! Although I care, but yay.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Don't drink and drive, but if you do, and you're especially in the state of Washington, you're going to be in big trouble. You can't call a lawyer fast enough. Call a lawyer who's going to work with you. It's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Once again, it's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. They'll meet in Seattle, Everett, Tacoma, whatever you need. And if the unfortunate happens to you and you get a DUI, do not delay. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Hey, stay with us because it's Monday. And what does that mean? That means a new game from the mind of Paul. This one at 7:20 this morning is called Who's the Jimmy? And if you know Who's the Jimmy, you can win a pair of tickets to see Jimmy Buffett happening at Key Arena.
I get it.
What is
Who's
the Jimmy?
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah,
Get
he's
it?
the Jimmy. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked your idea about Buffett or Buffett, to be honest with you. I thought that was really cool. But in my mind, could only get us to Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then after Wednesday, in Old Country, I get
Old
it.
Country, Jimmy, and Warren.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Then
That's
we're out
it.
on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think we could have gotten more if we really
I
tried.
can't think of another one.
But
Las Vegas. They're known for having buffets.
Okay.
See? This was
No.
not a good idea. Let's
I'm
play
telling you it was a good
Name
idea,
the
but
Jimmy.
not necessarily as good as Who's the Jimmy happening
We'll
at 7:20.
see. We'll see.
Well, we had a crazy story in the news about a man who was bitten by a beheaded rattlesnake
Yeah.
and almost died. Now,
That's what we
Paul and
should
I
have.
were amazed by this, but Danny, you said, meh, happens all the time.
It does. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, getting bit by any kind of rattlesnake is kind of rare, but getting bit by their head, not rare. Like in Southern California where I lived growing up in school, they taught it. Like if you cut a rattlesnake's head off, it can still kill you. That was the thing they taught even in kindergarten. So I got to go, not that rare.
I just
haven't-
assume
never
with
seen it.
anything that you cut its head off, it dies. It
dies.
doesn't
You don't
keep
assume
living.
that with a chicken.
Yeah, no, that's true. A chicken is going to hop around. The body's going to hop around.
See?
Yeah.
But it doesn't bite you
Yeah,
and
chicken doesn't bite you.
almost kill you.
You never have to suck the venom out with a chicken.
Oh, you can if you want. I have wings with me today for breakfast if you want one.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yum.
These all made, they're from Buffalo Wild Wings, all made from chickens running around with no head.
They're not flopping around still, are they?
No, killed them dead now eventually.
Okay, another thing about snakes.
Yeah.
So, all right, fine. A beheaded rattlesnake can bite you and kill you. We've learned this. How can a snake swim? You'll be out in a boat and a snake can just swim on by. That does not seem
You know,
right.
It's weird that you say because I've seen it enough, believe it or not, as an avid fisherman, that I don't think that much about it. But
Yeah.
now that why can that little bastard
Why-
swim?
Yeah,
no
they don't have
arms,
arms
no
and
legs.
legs.
What's it kicking?
Well,
That is
Danny,
pretty
can-
amazing.
Can you think of a natural phenomenon that amazes you? Because the swimming snakes freak me out and amaze me.
Worms,
Worms?
the appropriate worms, silkworms. They shoot precious stuff out their butt.
Who doesn't?
I'm telling you right, me. I do not shoot one precious thing out of my butt. Anything that comes out, well, I don't even want to go into detail about that. But and here's something else that we know about silk coming out of a worm's butt: 10 times the strength of steel.
Yeah.
Did you know
That's
that?
amazing.
Crazy, man. So I'm going to go with worm butt as one of the things I have seen in nature that freaks me out and surprises the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Well, you guys listening, what's a natural phenomenon that amazes you? Let us know by calling 800-252-1025 or text your answer or text us at 90627.
All righty. So there's a guy, he gets bit by a beheaded rattlesnake, or he gets bit by a beheaded rattlesnake's head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. So
It
the
is.
whole
It's
4
amazing.
feet of snake is superfluous. Doesn't even need that.
But it did chomp down on him and bite him. It's not like he just bumped into it. It chomped down and bit him.
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a reflex to that thing being touched because believe it or not, like I said, they taught this in school, and those things will bite like Pac-Man if they're moved or jostled.
Crazy.
Anyway, what is some phenomenon in nature that just absolutely amazes you? You should call. Here's the phone number, 1-800-252-1025, or text. We like that at 90627.
We'll start with Tori's boyfriend, Bill in Lakewood.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh,
So, is Tori there?
Hi, Bill.
Oh, you sweetheart, you.
Oh.
I missed you.
okay, man.
So,
All right, so
Bill.
aside from what's happening to your tingly body parts right now, what has happened in nature that just freaks you out?
I've got two of them,
All
and
right.
I'll make them real quick. The first one is the fact that you don't have a star yet on the Hollywood office.
Unbelievable. I don't know if that's the thing in nature because it involves concrete, but I'm
a
with you,
natural
Bill,
phenomenon.
and I like the way you're thinking. What's number 2?
Number two, I can't say that on the radio.
No, you can't.
No, I can't. The second thing that I find as a freak of nature, or is a freak of nature, is hummingbirds. They can hover. I believe they can even fly backwards.
They can. Only thing in life they can fly backwards is the hummingbird.
I have hummingbirds that frequent my house, and every single time I see one, I'm amazed.
They're amazing to look at. Plus, when they're stationary, you can swat them with a tennis racket. Always funny.
Oh,
Loser, hummingbird
Kidding.
abuser.
I just happened to see a thing on them the other day on one of the channels I watch. They're truly an amazing thing.
They are.
They fight though. Do you know that?
oh, the ones outside my house, they fight with each other.
Yeah.
They're very territorial.
It's a thing.
800-252-1025. What is a natural phenomenon that amazes you? That's
Bye,
the
Bill.
question this morning.
We've got some great texts already into 90627. Several people saying metamorphosis.
Yes.
A caterpillar
Yeah.
crawls into a cocoon, comes
Yep.
out flying a
No.
beautiful butterfly.
You're absolutely right. When I
amazing.
said silk, worms flying silks out of their butt, the next part of that is they become something beautiful after
That's
that.
pretty
They
amazing.
poop they poop silk, and then they become a butterfly. It's amazing.
Another texter says the fact that Danny is still alive is a wonder of nature.
Yeah, don't. Can you believe there's so few partridges left, and I'm one of them, and I'm
Yeah.
probably the most healthy. Shirley Jones, God love her, 85 years old. Brian Forster, the second partridge, I'd kick his ass faster than a cougar. That's
Which
what
one
I'm
is
saying.
he?
He's the second one.
The second one?
Yeah.
Yo, in Olympia, what's a natural phenomenon that amazes you?
Hey, yo.
What up, Debo?
What up?
I think carnivorous plants are kind of trippy.
Yep.
Yep.
Couldn't
Yeah.
be more right about that. That Venus flytrap thing.
Oh, yeah.
Lunacy.
Yo, you saw my pitcher plant on Facebook?
Yes, Miss Molly.
Yes, I named her Molly.
What is it?
A pitcher plant. They eat flies. It's
Oh,
a
wow.
carnivorous plant.
Oh, I thought that was the Venus flytrap.
Those also do, but these they'll eat spiders, gnats. It'll eat household pests.
Wow, 'cause that's a big plant if it's going to eat your dog.
Yeah.
What happened to
they're
Fido? Oh,
crazy.
the plant ate it.
I actually bought it, and they did sell Venus flytraps as well at the Ballard Farmers Market.
Oh, wow. I go there all the time. Never seen them. I'm going to go again.
Yeah, so next time I think I might get a Venus flytrap. Alex in Tacoma, what's a natural phenomenon that amazes you?
Hey, Alex.
Hey, good morning, you people.
What do you mean,
Hey,
you people?
That amazes me.
It amazes us too, buddy.
I've got to watch two of my children born, and there's nothing more fascinating than seeing that little life that's, your wife's DNA and my DNA just boom right there in front of you,
Yeah, I would.
crazy.
I would agree with you, Alex. That I saw both of my children born. I would agree with you, except it's disgusting.
It's
I
horrific.
could go my whole life without ever seeing it. It looks like a murder mystery dinner. It's
Yes.
horrifying.
It's magical
I
yet
don't know about
horrific.
your wife doing her magical mystery tour, like my ex-wife tour,
Yeah.
or if something even a little more embarrassing happened, when you say push one too many times, something's gonna happen. But you're right, it's miraculous.
Yeah.
Now, Paul, was yours
Thank you, Alex.
childbirth underwater?
No, it was not.
Was it supposed to be?
No. But she did the majority of her labor at home before we went to the hospital.
What does that
Gotcha.
mean?
That she stayed at home for the first 10 hours or so,
Right.
and then spent about an hour and a half at the hospital before she delivered.
So no epidural. She just said, help me with the actual.
Correct. Yeah, it was completely
It's
natural.
amazing.
There's nothing natural about it, dude. It's horrible.
Al in Tacoma, what's a natural phenomenon that amazes you?
I'm a fisherman, but steelhead and salmon, they migrate out to the sea and they come back to the same pool in
Yeah.
the creek or river they respond in. It's amazing.
They do such weird stuff that I don't even fully get it, what they do. So I get that somehow they get back to wherever it is that they were born or hatched or whatever the hell it is, and they fly upstream and hopefully don't get caught by bears. But do they go from freshwater to seawater, saltwater, and then come back? Oh, he's gone. Does anybody know that?
I don't know, but any type of animal migration is just amazing. Like, I can't go to the store and back without my GPS, but these animals fly.
What about
long
March of the
distances.
Penguins, man?
Oh, yeah.
They, 900 miles or something with those stupid feet?
And they never get lost. Somehow they know how to go. The monarch butterfly only lives like 6 or 7 months, and so when they migrate, it's the parent butterfly that migrates one direction, and then a baby that flies back.
That's crazy.
How does the baby know how to get back?
Natural GPS.
I
Yep,
guess.
That's
yeah.
what GPS.
This is going to sound super hokey, but a natural phenomenon that amazes me, rainbows.
No, that's
Oh,
not
no,
hokey
they're
at all. I
awesome.
saw one yesterday, big as a house.
Oh.
Matter of fact, that's a stupid way to put it. It was way bigger than a house. Bigger than any house I ever saw. But yeah, it was whatever time I was heading out to the Little Red Hen, 5 o'clock at night, there was a rainbow. It was the thickest one I had ever seen. It's crazy. It was
They
beautiful.
are amazing.
Well, then, how about love as a natural phenomenon? I don't understand. Why don't, and I'm only pointing this out, why don't I love Paul? Why don't I want to
I do.
hug and kiss Paul and spend the rest of my life
Right.
with Paul? Why is it specifically Amy that I want to spend that she's the one? How's that? What is it? 7 billion people on the planet now? 3 billion people? That's a lot of billions of people. And the one I'm supposed to be with, in my opinion's at my home. How weird is that?
Paul, what's a natural phenomenon that amazes you?
Fermentation takes sugar and bacteria, and it just magically makes booze.
That is pretty crazy.
Nature is excellent.
All right, in that case, you take the simple oxy and cotton and put those babies together. You don't even have to drink that many calories.
Yeah.
Tori, what's a natural phenomenon that amazes you?
Phenomenon.
Bioluminescent sea
Magma.
creatures.
Yeah.
They're pretty rad. Like the anglerfish, like how is it that a fish has evolved where they have a thingy lit up in front of them hanging off their head?
It's awesome.
That is
Is
pretty
that
crazy.
bioluminescence, though?
It is.
Bioluminescence is when you stir the water. The
But
fish
those are
that you're-
microbes in there.
The fish you're talking about lives at about 400 feet deep.
Yes.
And has a crazy thing on its head,
Yeah.
and it attracts other fish to do it. Yeah, I guess it's bioluminescent, but I'm with you then there, Tori. I do not understand that crazy fish.
Crazy.
Derek, what's a phenomenon that amazes you?
Phenomenon.
Well, recently we did the story about the crayfish that chopped off its own claw to escape a boiling pot, and then we found out they actually regrow their claws.
Yeah, that's all weird.
That is
Like if
so-
humans could regrow limbs, I'd just hack my arms off every once in a while just to freak people out. Why not?
Watch me do this. It's a dinner party thing that I do. All right, here's one. You ready? What about the flying squirrel?
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing. How is that happening?
Yeah. Oh, look at the time. We need to get started on Who's the Jimmy?
Who's the Jimmy?
This is a brand new game, and it's your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Jimmy Buffett, June 22.5 KZOK, where we are playing Who's the Jimmy?
Who's the Jimmy?
You can win a pair of tickets to see Jimmy Buffett, June 23rd at Key Arena. Now you'll have to listen to Danny's clue and tell us who the Jimmy is, and then you are headed to the show. Our contestant is Carrie in Tukwila.
Hiya, Carrie. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I do.
All right, that's very cool. And do you understand the rules of the game?
Mostly, yes.
All right, here we go then. Who's the Jimmy whose career has spanned from SNL to TTS on NBC and his besties with JT? And does hilarious impressions. His box must be as big as mine. His kindergarten class photo had the caption most likely to take over for David Letterman, which was totally wrong because he only took over for Conan O'Brien and then Jay Leno. Can you tell us who's the Jimmy?
Would that be Jimmy Fallon?
That would be
That
correct.
would be Jimmy
Carrie.
Fallon. That's beautiful.
Congratulations. You've won a pair of tickets to see Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band June 23rd at Key Arena. You go to the Jeep winners window in our lobby to get your tickets. The rest of you have another chance to win tomorrow at 7:20. And up next, the big news of the day.
Here it is, the big news of the day, and is brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. What you do is call 1-800-DIVORCE or go online to goldbergjones.com.
Monday morning, and the mystery has been solved. International House of Pancakes is no more IHOP.
Yeah. What?
As we told you last week, changing their name to IHOB, we now know what the B stands for. It's not boobs.
Is it butt face for this butt face move?
It
It's
is not
breakfast,
butt
right?
face.
It's got to be breakfast.
It is not breakfast.
It's not. Oh, I would have thought Paul was right on that.
Everybody assumed it was going to be breakfast. Nope. They have changed their name to IHOB, and the B stands for burger. Burgers. They are introducing 7 new burgers for their menu. And they said this is likely a temporary change.
Oh, that they'll go back to IHOP.
Yeah,
Oh.
so it's a
It's
bit
less
of
exciting than we thought.
a
Yeah.
marketing ploy.
Gimmick. It's a gimmick.
It's a gimmick.
I feel taken. Don't you feel taken?
I feel like I've somehow been violated.
I feel taken to IHOP to try a burger.
You mean IHOB?
Yes.
Did they have burgers before, or are these totally new, like they never had a burger?
I'll bet they had a burger.
My understanding is that these are all brand new burgers, and that let's see.
Yeah, but if Mickey D's offers the triple whammy dirty burger, it's
Yeah.
still a burger.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it does. I like the dirty burger.
So they've got the 7 new burgers: cowboy barbecue burger with
Yum.
onion rings,
Yum.
bacon, American cheese, and jalapeno.
Yum.
And that's the only example I see so far. They said the burgers are going to be super affordable too, $6.99 with unlimited fries and a drink.
What year is it that a hamburger is $7 and we go, super affordable?
At a sit-down restaurant with fries and a drink?
It didn't say it. It's going to be super affordable if you get to sit.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, hamburgers, how much, Sarah, is a hamburger? You're a vegetarian. You should know. It's $1.99 is a hamburger.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's that inexpensive at Dick's.
No, it's about
I
that.
think it's less than
$1.99
Yeah.
with unlimited French fries and a drink.
No, you can't do
No,
that. You
right.
can't do a
Can't do
whole
that.
meal for $1.99.
So IHOB, the B stands for Burger Mystery Solved. Also big news today, university researchers are offering an incentive for their latest medical study. Now, we've heard this before. You get a bunch of money to partake in studies, and it's something that typically like Derek would do, or maybe Danny, you would try to do in the 80s when you were really broke. $3,500. That's
Yeah,
what
I'm
you
in.
get
Whatever it is.
Yeah, I'll do it.
part in this medical study. You have to get the flu.
Oh.
For how long?
Until the flu goes away. Can they do that? Just give you the flu for the day and take it away? It doesn't work that way, does
Well,
it?
that's
Don't you
probably what
wish?
the study is.
Yeah.
How fast can they get rid of it? How cool is this pill?
Oh, yeah.
No,
No.
what you're going to have to do is expose yourself to the
No problem.
Yeah, I'll do
it
that.
right now. $8.
You don't even have to pay me. I'll
you
pay
don't
you,
pay
in
me
fact.
not to do it.
You are either going to get the flu vaccine or a placebo and then expose yourself to the influenza virus, and then they study you to see how long it takes you to recover, how you feel throughout it. You will stay in a hotel that's now being called Hotel Influenza.
What about the other guests in said hotel? Isn't that a drag?
Did they like cordon off the whole hotel?
Oh, yes. This will be a specific area of the CDC.
All right, for $3,500, here's what you're gonna get when you study me. Oh, I'm so sick. Get me pudding. What the hell is wrong with you? I want pudding and I want it now. Where's the channel changer? There, $3,500, please.
Quarantine for 10 days at Hotel Influenza. You do get a private bathroom, which you'll probably need, television, internet, but then they'll be checking you to see how you're faring with the flu.
Aside from the fact that I have the flu, this sounds awesome.
Yeah, it really does.
How bad is this influenza that they're attaching to me?
I feel like I have the beginnings of the flu. Is it too late for me to sign up?
Yeah.
'Cause I could use $3,500.
It's a lot like the flu shot that way. You can't have it now.
As arrests go, this one was bananas. Deputies in Pasco County, Florida, arrested Cody Hession after he allegedly drove a stolen vehicle into a ditch. But then when police arrived, that's when they found his accomplice. Pink polo shirt.
Okay, so I'm sorry, go on. I must be a little bit lost. I thought you said there was a little monkey stealing bananas wearing a polo shirt.
Nope.
No. All right, it was wrong.
This guy's pulled over and he's got a monkey hanging around his neck or something.
Hanging onto his shirt. There
And
are
he's
pictures.
got bananas?
No, I said this story is bananas.
Oh, I get it
Oh,
now.
now I get it.
Was he aware that there was a monkey on his shirt?
He was.
Okay.
He
Is
says
there
that-
something wrong with having a monkey on your shirt?
Yes, there is actually. This is a capuchin
I thought
monkey.
that was a valid question. I'm
Thanks,
surprised by her answer.
He said, I have had this monkey named Monk since it was 3 years old. Oh, no, he's had him for 3 years, owned him since he was 3 days old.
Oh.
Monkey comes from a breeder in South Carolina and says there's no licensing or permitting required. And they said, well, maybe in South Carolina, but you sure as heck need all that stuff for Florida. You can't just have a monkey.
This was in his car, right?
It was clinging to his shirt.
So the monkey
while he
doesn't
was
live
driving
anywhere
a
yet.
stolen vehicle.
You can't do that for
You
sure.
can't do that for sure.
Even in South Carolina.
Missed that part.
Or Florida. He is charged
No,
with
you
auto
missed that
theft.
No, I meant he's saying that laws don't apply to him because he's from South Carolina.
Right.
I'm pretty sure auto theft also illegal in South Carolina.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you right
It's
there.
a cute little monkey.
Monkeys are always cute, and then they poop in your hair.
So what happens to the monkey? This guy goes to jail. I get the monkey or what?
He's being dropped off at a primate sanctuary. 'Cause
Oh,
guess
that's
this is
probably
some-
better for him.
Yeah.
Well, there's enough monkeys being deserted or arrested for accomplice of car
Are you
theft
saying words again?
that they have to have an annual animal sanctuary.
Yeah.
That was all English, believe it or not.
Okay.
A lock of blonde hair that experts believe came from Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer has sold at auction for almost $13,000.
Who
lock
has
of his
this
hair?
money? Who pays for this crap?
Yep.
Well, somebody's going to try and clone Custer so he can get defeated again.
Yeah.
He did perish at the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1976. He was thought to be a very flamboyant officer, much loved. And
by who? I heard everybody hated him.
Well, his troops were overwhelmed in what became Custer's last stand. And they said somebody really wanted this to the tune of almost $13,000.
Wow, that's crazy.
And unless there's a follicle at the end, you can't clone it.
Well, then I don't want it anymore because I was going to personally clone George Armstrong Custer.
Over the weekend, the Queen decided to honor a whole lot of people.
Congratulations, Danny.
Thank you. It's about time.
Man.
I got a star on the sidewalk outside Buckingham Palace.
British film star Emma Thompson, Keira Knightley, Tom Hardy, Nobel Prize-winning author Kazuo Ishiguro were among those who received honors. Ishiguro has written a lot of very iconic books. The Remains of the Day, Love Actually. Oh, no, he didn't write Love Actually. The Remains of the Day was one of his big ones.
Wasn't that a teen movie, Love Actually?
Love Actually was not a teen movie. That's an awesome movie with I think Hugh Grant's in that. Rick from The Walking Dead is in that. Keira Knightley. You're staring at me like I'm an alien.
No, I'm not staring. I just don't recognize the movie anymore. I thought it was one of those teen-type movies happening around a high school or something.
Emma Thompson will become Dame Emma, which is the high honor, the female equivalent of becoming a knight.
Yeah.
Not everybody got the high honor. There did get a knighthood going to Mark Rowley, who is a Metropolitan Police officer who just retired. But let's see. Keira Knightley got an OBE. So
Can she deliver babies now?
She becomes an officer of the British Empire.
Right.
That's like one step down from knighthood, right?
So she's not a dame.
If your name is Knightley, you should be a knight.
Okay, yeah.
Tom Hardy also received a CBE, so he is a commander, not a sir. So
can you work your way up, or is that's your rank for lifetime?
Oh, good question, and I don't know. I would hope that he could. I don't know what Tom Hardy would do to become a sir.
Become the major overactor ever.
I think he's a good actor, but I don't see that any of these people are worthy of knighthood.
No, me either.
Sirdom and
yeah.
I saw a knight the other night. I saw Tom Jones.
Oh yeah,
and he's a knight all day long. Anyway, he was awesome.
He didn't come out on stage like in armor on horseback, right?
He did. That's exactly what happened.
That's the big news of the day. It's brought to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE, or find them online at goldbergjones.com.
If you were betting, is there more? There is, coming right up. It's business news with Jim the Flagger.
And now, business news from Jim the Flagger.
The CEO of Campbell's Soup is out, as the company is bracing for the impact of new tariffs on imported steel and aluminum. The Can Manufacturers Institute, which is apparently a real thing, says that these tariffs will result in a $1.1 billion tax on consumers and businesses. Campbell Soup considered making changes to its packing materials, but they decided that the signature metallic taste that's left in your mouth is just too important to their brand recognition.
Nothing like a can of Campbell Soup. Well, it's just a couple minutes after 8 o'clock in the morning. And have you heard about the iHeartRadio Music Festival? It is awesome.
Yeah.
And you should get involved in this. This is something you want to do. If you've got plans, cancel them. September 21st and 22nd. The biggest weekend in music as our iHeartRadio Music Festival returns to T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Everybody and their brother is playing on that stage. And their sister, too. I might want to point that out. So just listen for a keyword and then text it to 200-200, and you could be headed to Vegas, baby, for our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
We've had a lot of stories in the news about El Capitan, the mountain face that people have been falling off and climbing up for years. And we've had a lot of stories about Mount Everest in the news recently. Same thing, people climbing up and down, people not surviving. But these two dudes just set the record for the fastest climb up El Capitan days after somebody died.
Right.
Now, every time we talk about Mount Everest, every time it's in the news, most recently in the news because they're sending people up to clean it because it's covered in garbage.
Right.
Every time we talk about it, though, you say,
I
no
do say that.
interest.
I stand by that.
That's a
by
quote.
the way. It's crazy. It's, you're just trying to, you're putting your life and limb, you're putting, let's say you're the dad, you're putting your kid's father, if your mom, you get the drill on this, so you can touch the peak of a mountain. It means nothing to anyone. It's just an endurance contest, and you shouldn't do it.
Well, there was a time where when I did, until I read John Krakauer's Into Thin Air, and now we're learning more and more about Everest and the fact that it's covered in garbage. But there was a time where I thought it was alluring. I thought it would be pretty cool to say you climb the world's highest peak.
Yeah, but there was a time I believed in the Easter Bunny, who I believe is still totally real, you guys.
I don't have any interest anymore now that I know how dangerous it is, how much it costs, and how gross it is.
Are there other ones you wish to climb?
Not really.
Do you ever want to do that? And I don't even know, I'm so far removed from this, I don't even know it's actually a thing. Do you have any desire to climb 7 mountains in 7 continents?
Yeah, and one of those is Everest.
That's
so
a
the
real
answer is
thing,
no.
though, right? I didn't just make that up.
No.
All right, that's stupid. Don't do that.
There are a lot of people that's the accomplishment they want to do, and I think collectively we have no interest in that one.
I would like to be a famous television star.
You've done that.
Well, but it's so far behind me now.
Well, what's an accomplishment you don't have any interest in?
Oh, there's billions of them. One is yours. I get it, so I'm not saying how weird of you. I get that you want to do it, but I have no plans at all to see every major league ballpark in the country.
Oh, yeah.
No, none, not even a little one. And I know you're not the only person I know that really wants to do that.
That's
I
popular.
think Rick Jones wants to do that, doesn't he?
I do believe he does.
Yeah, you're all lunatics.
And he's probably halfway there.
Yeah.
I thought for sure you were going to say touch all the continents.
Like touch them?
Continents. Go to all the continents.
Visit every continent.
Mm-hmm.
That's another
You know
one,
what?
Sarah.
That's a nice travel thing. I might, at some point on cruise ships or whatever. But in any kind of race, and especially the 7 continents and 7 mountains and 7 days with 7 brides for 7 brothers, I'm not doing any of it.
Rick Jones and I are going in 2 weeks to San Francisco to take a ballpark off of our list.
Right. Where will your husband be?
He's coming with us this time.
It's about time.
Because he's with you. He has no interest in that accomplishment.
Well, I'm with Matt.
Well, you guys listening, what's an accomplishment you have no interest in? Call us now. Share 800-252-1025 or text your answer to 90627.
All right, so 2 guys just set the record for the fastest climb up El Capitan. I set the record for sitting at the bottom calling them stupid. I did it very quickly.
Yeah.
So here's the question. I like this question a lot. What is an accomplishment that you have no interest in doing? Here's the phone number to tell us. 1-800-252-1025 or text to 90627.
We'll start talking to Randy in Newcastle.
Hey, Randy.
Hi, you guys.
What's up, buddy?
Well, I don't want to try to survive in some wretched rainforest for 21 days butt naked like they do on Naked and Afraid.
I have never seen that show, and I watched it for the first time the other day. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's weird, mostly because of the girl, to be honest with you. Rugged positions, getting down on your hands and knees and ripping out roots that you're going to eat. Even though they blur out and they only blur out the smallest part, it's pretty strange to watch. But those guys are tougher than I am. So I am with you, Randy. I have no bug bites and starvation and pooping like a crazy person because the water's bad? No, I'm not doing that. I'm hanging out at home with my buddy Randy.
My husband is obsessed with Survivor.
The show Survivor, the game show?
Going on Survivor, the game show, the reality show. He wants to do that so bad.
So he wants to go on a one-way trip to Mars, and he wants to go in the middle of the jungle by himself.
So I'm just wondering, Paul, are you wondering? Am I about to put words in your mouth? How's that marriage going?
It's wonderful, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
He's also,
Maybe we
he's
should ask
entered
him.
numerous times to go on Survivor. I have zero interest. He's also trying to get us on The Amazing Race. Now,
Would you do that one?
I can see doing that one, but Survivor, no way.
Hey, I just thought of something. When was the last time you saw Matt?
It's been quite a while.
Is there any chance he's dead?
It's possible.
Is he in Tori's freezer?
There's a very good chance that your husband is in Tori's freezer.
800-252-1025. The question we're asking is, what accomplishment do you have no interest in? Call now, let us know, and we'll talk with Farmer Ted in Seattle.
Hey, Farmer Ted, what up?
Hey, I have zero interest in extreme sports like bungee jumping. I do not need to feel death to be exhilarated.
Yeah, I did that one literally one time out of my whole life of doing stupid stuff. I did it in Philadelphia when it first broke as popular. It was like 1988 or something like that. And I cannot tell you how much I hated it. It was different from skydiving. Because with skydiving, you got to get you got to tough it out and get out that door. But with bungee jumping, you stand still on a platform and voluntarily jump towards your death. And for a while, they were having a good time dunking you in water.
Yeah, right.
Like they get you about a full foot in water. No, I'm done with that. And that's a very good call there, Farmer Ted.
There was a time where I thought I wanted to jump out airplanes. I have no interest in doing that.
Yeah,
It's gnarly.
Vinny in Renton agrees with you. He texted in and says, "There's no way you could get me to jump out of an airplane."
Well, I've done it about 10 times now, and every time was as frightening as the first time. And it's too frightening to be casually fun. It's just scary. Don't do it.
Christy in Puyallup texted into 90627. She says the Guinness Book of World Records was so awesome when she was a kid, and now it seems like everything in there is just stupid.
Yeah, who can open a
Completely
Coke bottle
ridiculous.
with their butt? That's in there. I think I won that one, actually. I got one then for you. The Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
These trails are all over the country. I could have picked any one of them, but one goes to Mexico to Canada.
Yeah, that's the Pacific Crest Trail.
Yeah, I kind of might, at least in the back of my mind, think I could do that. But the Appalachian Trail kind of goes from nowhere to nowhere, and you go and you meet some really weird people who tell you got a pretty mouth. I don't know that I want to do that. And when I looked it up, it's 2,200 miles, right?
Yeah.
Then it says approximately. Why don't they know?
It's scary.
But I mean, why
The
is it
trail
approximate?
changes from season to season, yeah.
Exactly. No, forget it. I'm going to get eaten by a crazed bison or something.
I have several friends who have done it.
Yeah,
the
oh,
Appalachian
dude.
Trail. Yeah.
I have some friends who are training for the Pacific Crest Trail, and it's like 4.5 months if they make good time.
So your friends have done it all, made it 2,200 miles?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and most of the time when people do it, they're either in between jobs or it's between college and grad school or between high school and college. You need a good chunk of time.
Yeah, you do. You need 4 months minimum. I would think longer than 6. Now, there's a one in Spain, and it has to do with some historic event. I forget the name of it. But my mother-in-law did it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's as healthy as she can be. But she did what I did. Somebody packed her bags and took them to the next town to a hotel.
Yeah.
And she slept at a hotel every night and ate in restaurants every night.
Yeah.
But still hiked 60 miles or something crazy every single day.
What about Zach and Sultan? What is an accomplishment you have no interest in?
Hey, good morning, folks.
Morning.
Hey, Danny, give me a minute, will you, just to talk to you for a second?
Oh, before I scream or anything?
Yeah.
All right, ready, go.
Oh, I want to thank you so much for the tickets to the Emerald Queen Casino last Saturday. It was a pleasure talking to you and Andy, if only for a moment. I really felt your sincerity and your genuineness just in that one moment. And to me, you might be only 5'6", but you're a big man in my book, buddy.
All right, Zach, can you do me a favor? I'm sorry, I'm
just
already
said you weren't
involved.
gonna interrupt
Oh yeah,
him.
well I'm not yelling. Oh yeah, I think I'm yelling. I would like you to run for office so I can vote for you because I don't care what else you say after that. That was good enough. And by the way, it was really nice meeting you. It was a real pleasure meeting you. I guess Saturday night. What do you got for us now?
Okay, I have no desire to ever travel any place because I was a military brat.
So you have traveled places, right?
Yes, I have.
So if I ask you what's the best meal, and by the way, you can make up an answer, but if I say what's the best meal you ever had in Japan, would you have an answer?
No.
Well, I got to go to Japan. What are you, crazy?
No desire, buddy. No
They
desire.
would love you in Japan. What are you, like 6 feet tall? You'd be a king among men.
I'm 6'4".
bastard.
Wow.
No, I'm
Zach
sick of
lives
you.
in the middle of nowhere and likes it.
Yeah, and he likes it, and he's, my new best friend. So whatever it was Zach says is good enough for me.
Ken texted into 90627. He has no interest in being a politician. I don't think I would either.
No, I would. Are you kidding? But is King a politician? Because I'd like to be your king.
Paul, what is an accomplishment you have no interest in?
I hope that I never in my life have any desire to run into a burning building. I know that's a fantasy of Danny's to save a person from a burning building, but I'll be totally fine if I never even see a burning building, and if I'm never even close to a burning building.
Well, I think that's completely normal with
Really?
you. Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's the problem. The only place that you would get, in my opinion, kind of crazy, if you see one and hear screams coming out.
Yeah.
Then you have to go, right?
I just hope I'm never in that position.
Yeah,
You seem to desire that people light fires around you.
Yeah,
Like
I don't want anybody to light any
hope.
fires, but if it happens, I will rescue you.
Okay.
Even you, Paul, I will rescue you.
Maybe I misunderstood then, because I thought you were just walking around every day hoping that someone would light a fire around you.
No, I'm walking around every day hoping to get bit by a shark.
Oh, that's
Yet
right.
I'm inland. What are the odds?
Tori, what's an accomplishment you have no interest in?
I have no desire to ride in a hot air balloon. Since 1964, there have been 775 incidents.
Ooh, that's a
Well,
lot.
it's an incident. How many deaths?
70.
That makes
That's
it
a
like
lot.
one of the
That's a
world's
lot.
most safe things.
Yeah.
There have been more people crossing the street with a green light get killed in a hot air balloon. And by the way, I back you up because they're boring and stupid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm good with you. I just don't think it should be a lifelong goal to not do something that's dull.
Derek, what's an accomplishment you have no interest in?
Competing in the Olympics. You're going to train your whole life for an event that no one cares about. And then if you do win a medal, you're on a podium for about 30 seconds. After that, everyone forgets your name and they'll never talk about you again. You just wasted your life.
Excuse me. Muhammad Ali, remember him? Gold medalist?
There's a
Mark
handful of
might have heard of
Mark
him
Spitz,
once or twice.
remember him?
Congratulations
Ryan
to the-
Lochte, for God's sakes, remember him?
How
You're
about the
crazy
third guy in the bobsled on?
Yeah, how about anybody in a
fourth place
bobsled? He's
team?
got a point, the kid.
He's got a good point. I can't believe nobody said run a marathon.
Oh yeah, who wants to run a marathon? You got to
Oh.
put Band-Aids on your nipples for Christ's sake. Come on.
I do that anyway. But I would run a marathon if I thought I could or could even train to it. That's just not my thing. But I see aspiring to it.
One more text into 90627 says, I would never have any interest in having a battle of wits with Sarah because I would just win so easily. Hashtag dumb Sarah.
Thanks for your calls and most of your texts. We'll be right back with the news. News is brought to you by Les Schwab. An 18-year-old man drove his truck through the front doors of Glacier Peak High School yesterday, according to the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office. The sheriff says that the driver caused significant damage to the building. He was taken to the hospital for evaluation. They are investigating for possible DUI.
Wow.
So it wasn't like that wasn't his intent to do damage to the school?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I suppose it could be, but it sounds as if he was just drunk
Also
driving
drunk.
and
Yeah.
thought he'd go check out the school, but forgot he was still in his car.
Oops.
Whole Foods are expanding their integration with parent company Amazon
About
Prime,
time.
rolling out discounts to members here in Washington, along with 9 other states. The tie-in for members of the $119 a year program will get 10% off sale items in Whole Foods stores, as well as other discounts that will vary week to week. Now, this launched in Florida last month, then expanded a few weeks later, and it will now be active in 23 states, including here in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho.
Neat.
A shark bit a 48-year-old surfer in the waters off of Oahu, leaving the island on high alert. This man was near Ewa Beach, and this is an area that doesn't have lifeguards, but is right down the road from the Disney resort.
Oh.
They said
That's a great resort, I hear.
It's
I was
really
looking at
nice.
places to
Alani,
stay,
yeah.
and we thought without kids, that's kind of weird to do.
Yeah.
But it's looked great, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Does
I went
look
on the
great.
Disney boat with kids. Boy, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of time to practice. And the best thing about them, you drop your kids off about 7 o'clock in the morning at this camp, and you put some sort of bracelet on them, and then you wear a bracelet. And if there's any problem at all, the bracelet vibrates, and you go back and check on your kid. If that doesn't happen, and it didn't, 11 hours a day without Junior.
No, that Disney resort's really nice in Hawaii. It's super low key.
Yeah, but now the sharks are attacking people.
Yeah.
Well,
It's going to be an attraction later.
they have a protected snorkeling area
Ah, okay.
that's completely encased, so the shark couldn't get in and get you.
What do you mean?
It's a barrier that they have rocks, and it's enough for the fish to be in And it's got coral, but a shark couldn't get through.
Wow, I had no idea.
So it's a shallow, protected, like it's not as rough. Even if it's windier, it's still in a protected.
So to protect
bay
kids
area.
from like the waves and stuff
Yes.
too, not just the sharks.
Correct.
They need to learn to surf at some point.
This is right around the corner from there, though. Ewa Beach, there is no lifeguard. This man said he felt something sting his lower leg and then looked down and it was bleeding profusely.
Oh, that's why the shark bit him. He's in the water with a bloody leg. You can't do that.
He said that they say he is in serious condition at the hospital. So I don't know why he only felt a sting. It sounds like he was significantly chomped on.
From what I hear on that stuff, some people don't know what's happened at all till they see a bite.
Oh,
They don't even feel a sting.
Have you ever hurt yourself?
A
Stubbed
million times.
stubbed your toe, bumped into something, and didn't think that much of it, and then you look down and you see it's a huge cut and bleeding, and then you feel the pain.
No, and I'll tell you why. Because I am an incredible baby. And if I hurt myself even a little bit, I think I need to be rushed to the hospital. If I don't even like the way I did my hair, I scream, "Ow!" and take me to the hospital.
Yeah.
The White House says President Donald Trump plans to visit U.S. military bases in Guam and Hawaii on his return from his summit in Singapore.
Neat. I bet they feel lonely.
Oh, I bet
To
they
be honest,
absolutely.
especially the guys on Guam. Who goes to Guam?
Yeah.
Dave
Guys.
goes to Guam. What does that mean? But serious biz, I'll bet those guys kind of feel forgotten. It'd be nice for a U.S. president, even this one, to show up.
Especially Guam.
Yeah, do card tricks or something.
Because that's what all Guamanians
No,
do.
I just mean do something rather than just show up and say,
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
I'm Donald Trump, you're president. Go, yeah, pick a card. Remember it. Don't show it to your friend. That'd be cool.
The White House says the president will stop at Andersen Air Force Base in Guam on Tuesday and then travel to Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam in Hawaii later in the day. So he will be back Wednesday morning after this. What are you
He's
doing,
coming
Dan?
back right away. He's hooling. What do you think he's doing?
What, are you crazy?
Okay.
I think I would be saying goodbye to the troops in Hawaii for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, seriously.
And I'd be saying goodbye from the Four Seasons.
Right,
So
yeah.
whatever, if they have one of those.
Polio.
I don't know why we're saying goodbye. I did that. Why are you saying goodbye to the troops? That was my fault. I turned the story into him saying goodbye to the troops.
Don't say goodbye to the troops. Say hello to the
Well, he's
troops.
saying hello and goodbye because he's leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Polio has been reported in Venezuela. Now, it had
Didn't
been
we
eradicated.
fix that one?
Most
Polio, yeah.
Yeah.
Eradicated, right?
What'd Jonas Salk do?
Got rid of polio.
He got rid of polio.
Or
He
had
did-
polio, one or the other.
No, he did something good.
he is the man behind the vaccine.
Yeah.
It had been eradicated decades ago, and unfortunately, they have no money. They have a whole lot of nothing in Venezuela these days, and
Yeah,
now
no
they're
kidding.
saying they're not able to immunize people.
I blame Jenny McCarthy. She's probably been telling them Venezuelans not to get it immunized.
That's a distinct possibility. Whatever it is, that guy's is that Duarte or is that the Philippines?
That's the
That's Philippines.
What's Venezuela?
Not Hugo Chavez, but
Whatever it is, he's another maniac.
Well, and nobody's intervening, and now, of course, they're getting very concerned because a lot of people are fleeing Venezuela because of the extreme poverty, and there are cases of people now being found in other countries with polio because that's where they fled to.
Yeah, no good.
Oh yeah, don't take your polio and go other places.
And isn't it hard to go other places if you have polio?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about it like the flu. You get it in the beginning, you just don't feel real good. And then all of a sudden it's full blown. It's not like all of a sudden these kids have club foot and one leg shorter than
Zika.
the other.
Remember Zika?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
If it was going to
Mosquito.
kill you, it still started off kind of the flu, not even a bad one.
Right.
They're also having an outbreak of the measles.
Oh, it's a stupid country.
There was a time where Venezuela was on a travel list. Like people would go to Venezuela.
Recently, not
Yeah.
that long ago.
Yeah.
10 years.
I used to have a place where I lived for quite some time in St. Lucia, which was like 400 miles away from Venezuela. And I had people coming to stay at my place on their way to Venezuela. Like it was a normal place. I always believed it was normal. And then I started reading the news.
Also, not long ago, they were believed to have had a great medical system.
Yep.
Like Canada. Liars.
It's amazing what can happen to a country when the power changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Canada.
What's wrong with you in
Mad at
Canada?
Canada right now.
I
Why are
love
you mad at Canada?
I'm not really clear. Probably because he's the king and I'm not, and he's
Yeah.
really good looking and I'm not, and he's over 6 foot tall and I'm not.
Whatever they did, though, they're sorry.
They are sorry. And what's his face said, we're Canadians, we're sorry, which I thought was really cute and self-effacing, or we're polite, but we won't be pushed around.
Yeah, right.
And then I feel now that Trump is going to take that as a threat, and he's going to push you around a little bit because you are Canada after all.
What's the difference between a Canadian and a canoe?
I don't know what, Sarah.
A canoe tips.
Why were we not done with that joke 9 years ago? But whatever, it still makes me laugh.
It's been a while. IKEA just made a big announcement.
Yeah, but they can't assemble it. I thought that was good. Yeah.
They are partnering with sports powerhouse Adidas on a collaboration.
You're going to make shoes?
No.
You're going to make tracksuits?
No.
What are they going to make?
Maybe. They did not reveal much information, but what they said was it's connecting IKEA's specialty, which is the home, Adidas' specialty, which is sports, crafting an easier way to work out at home.
Wow, cool.
They didn't go in, like I said, they didn't go into detail. Like, is this exercise equipment?
Treadmill couch. It's going to be a treadmill couch.
You know what the problem with that is? It's already on QVC.
A treadmill couch?
Stupidest thing. No, it's the exercise chair. It's a fold-out lawn chair. It's nothing. And then you move your arms around, then you move your legs around, and you swear to God you've worked out.
All right.
All that for $99.
So they've announced the partnership, but not much else, but something to do with the ability to work out at home. IKEA and Adidas.
All right, I'm curious about that. I used to have some really bizarre and expensive workout gear at my place in Hollywood because the whole downstairs was like a loft, so I filled it with gym equipment that I got comped. And it looked bitchin', by the way. But it's big, nasty, gnarly machines that you have to get rid of when you're done somehow. I'll be curious.
A Norwegian pet supply company is giving employees paid time off to bond with their new pets. Pawternity.
Pawternity?
Yep, Pawternity. Now, they said this is the largest pet company in all of the Nordic countries. They have more than 1,500 employees. They will offer paternity leave to employees, which will consist of 3 paid days off when they acquire a new puppy or kitten. They say just like with a baby, it's important, it's very vital to bond with your pet.
Yeah. To get back to work, you got to get right on the Nordic track, which I find amusing as hell. I don't care for it. I mean, I like the time off. I think it's all cute.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It just doesn't seem a way to build an empire, and I'm in the business of building empires.
Bond with your pet on the weekend.
Yeah.
Your time.
That's the first time I've ever heard people poo-pooing paid time off by their corporation.
For other people, not for us.
Yeah.
We made it very clear we will take the time off.
We did make that clear, didn't we? Yeah.
Well, sometimes having a pet is a better idea than having a kid.
Oh, I agree completely, and I have both.
Almost all the time.
One mom in particular is regretting her choice made 24 years ago. I guess technically 25 because he's 24 years old now. $7.5 million from mom's bank account to fund a posh lifestyle that included private jets, Super Bowl tickets, and $100,000 champagne.
I blame the mom, totally.
He was hacking into her bank account.
Yeah.
Why do you blame mom?
Because let me ask you a question there, Sarah.
Yeah.
At what point, what dollar amount is stolen from you do you start to notice? Is it the $4 million amount?
Well, he was doing it over time and doing it through Venmo, PayPal, Square Up, Plastique. Like, he was going through all different facets, slowly but surely, stealing all her money.
Can I answer the question?
First of all, he's only 25.
24.
So 24. So we didn't do anything that slowly because he didn't learn this at 6.
Yeah.
And $4 million is a lot of money. Mom's fault. Arrest the kid, do whatever, but mom's fault.
$80. That's my answer to your question.
Exactly. All right, I'll ask you again just to get it out there.
Yeah.
So somebody's hacking into your accounts, all over your accounts, all your money, and they're stealing money over time. What dollar amount do you notice?
$80.
$80, and Paul knows.
Not $4.5 million.
No.
I track my finances very closely, but the difference is she's older and was in and out of the hospital for some treatment, so maybe she just wasn't following it as closely as she should.
Well, if you're in there and you can't tell that your $4 million is being stolen, you should have to give it to me. That should be the law. You have to give me your $4 million.
That should be the law.
Should be the law. I'd spend some with you, Paul.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Who brought you chicken wings this morning?
You did.
That's
and I
right.
think that.
Pretty sure you brought yourself chicken wings for breakfast and offered Paul
But
one.
he offered. Did
I
you
offered.
offer me
I have
chicken
a
wings?
bunch of chicken wings
I
still left.
think
You know
not.
why I still have chicken wings
Why?
left? Because Paul didn't eat his.
Yeah, Paul.
Sorry.
Okay.
Not yet.
New Jersey State Police are asking for the public's help identifying a man who robbed an accident scene. So this woman got into a car accident.
Yeah.
She steps out of her vehicle. She's like, oh my gosh, Becky, I can't believe I just got into a car accident. Well, somebody watching the scene then went up to her car, stole her purse, and fled.
Wow.
So while she's assessing the damage,
Right.
he robs her.
By the way, leaps and bounds away from the worst thing I ever heard.
Really?
When I was living in Detroit, I can't even say most of it because it's too upsetting. Let me put it this. There was a festival going on, and they hadn't yet cleared this gigantic bridge in Detroit City. A mob went up and dragged this woman out of her car and assaulted her repeatedly.
That's terrible.
And then they all left. And then more people came.
Jeez Louise.
And then somebody took her purse after all of that.
Wow.
That's one of the worst things I've ever heard.
A drunk Florida teenager did what many have fantasized about. He drove his car onto a golf course where he did donuts, but then crashed his vehicle into a sand trap from which he could not escape.
That's why it's called trap.
Yeah.
Jack Robertson, age 19, barreled into the links at the Bayou Club, and they said he drove with willful and wanton disregard for the safety of others. Just did donuts, was having a grand old time till he went into the sand bunker and got stuck. Guess what he was?
Arrested.
Drunk.
Yeah.
All right. Close to what I was going to say.
But
Well,
so
you're
was
both
everybody
right.
else on the golf course, though.
Most likely. It was Florida. 6:30. So, I mean, that's pretty early.
Or pretty late.
Or pretty late.
Yeah.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Florida.
A woman named Lorraine Henry has just won the lottery, and her method for picking the numbers are what is putting her in the news. She was cleaning her house, found a fortune cookie, and opened it up and saw the numbers inside and said, you know what? I'm going to play these numbers. She won $100,000.
That is so cool. I'm doing that.
By the way, every fortune cookie I've ever eaten tastes like it was found in somebody's house. Like, oh, is that a fortune cookie under the couch there? Yeah, that's what they all taste like.
That is what they all taste like. The
When we-
Chinese not all caught up in desserts.
No.
We talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
A fortune cookie and a slice of orange. Everybody else is doing souffles, man.
When we lived in Philadelphia in Chinatown, they have one of the oldest American fortune cookie companies,
Yeah.
like a bakery.
Yeah.
And you could go in there and watch them make them. And then you bought a whole bag, this humongous bag for $1.
If you watch the whole thing done and you then buy that bag, does it say, we think you're bored? Yeah, I think I'm very bored to watch a whole passel of fortune cookies.
I love the idea of watching manufacturing, like those shows that show how cookies are made or how candy bars are done. I don't understand how back in the early 1900s they made all of these industrial machines to can things or to make licorice.
Some of them are super elaborate, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just find that fascinating. So I went in and watched them make fortune cookies for a couple hours.
I've been to a couple of major breweries, like the Anheuser-Busch
Yeah.
thing and the bottling company. It's the bottling company I've been to.
Yeah.
Crazy. The symbol line of that. And how do they know to stop pouring right there?
Yeah.
Crazy.
More than 2,500 stripped naked on a beach in Ireland and broke the world record for the largest skinny dip.
Oh, I thought it was just going to be for drunken Irishmen. It's a tough record to beat.
They beat it by a lot. The last Guinness record was 786 people. This one was more than 2,000. 2,505, world record of the most naked people, most of which, or I think all of which, were women.
Oh.
All of them?
That's a lot of naked ladies.
And our picture's up on our website at KZOK.com.
For real? It was 2,000 naked women?
2,505 naked women.
How did I miss my invitation?
Because you're not a woman.
That's crazy. So is it actually, did I miss the part where you said it's a woman's record, not a people record?
I said more than 2,500 women stripped naked,
yeah.
but this is a record period, not a record for...
Ew. 2,000 of them doing that? Come on. Imagine the sharks. Oh, man.
To Betsy.
Betty, I think you've been bit by a shark. Oh, no, never mind.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
I have some awesome news in the news.
Yeah? I thought
Sonic.
Yeah.
That wasn't it.
No?
No. Sonic made a very cool announcement back in March, and it is officially here because today is June 11th. What does that
I know
mean?
what that means.
Pickle juice slushies.
Oh,
They are-
yeah.
Oh, they make good stuff. That's not one of them.
No.
But they make great stuff. And some other company right now that I've never heard of, I don't think, but they're on my TV, frozen lemonade drinks and frozen Coca-Cola drinks. Oh, come on.
I really want the pickle juice slushie. It is on the menu now. It's a summertime only event. They said if you don't want a slushie, you could also just get pickle juice added to another one of the drinks, but it's pickle juice slushies.
Like, give me a pickle juice Dr. Pepper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yum.
I don't know why you would do that.
They're opening up a bunch more locations around
It's
here.
about time. I have to drive 50 miles to get me some Sonic.
Yeah, they'll be getting closer to
100 miles round trip.
Yeah.
Do you know when they're going to be opening closer?
The one in Renton may actually be open already. Somebody texted in last time we talked about Sonic. I think
Why
it
aren't
might
they
be.
there?
I don't know.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Field
let's totally
trip.
go.
A show field trip to get pickle juice.
Because we never said that
slushies.
before and then didn't go.
But I don't know. There's pickle juice
There's
slushies
pickle
at
juice
the end.
slushies
so-
at the end, yeah.
Yum. If you missed it during the big news, which we do every day at 7:30, we will tell you the story again about IHOP. We got to the bottom of them changing their name from IHOP to IHOB.
Yeah.
The B does not stand for breakfast. Which
Unbelievable.
everybody believed.
Yeah, I did.
It does not stand for bacon or boobs or
What does it stand for?
bras.
Doesn't stand for boobs, International House of Boobs. There was a chance of that?
It didn't stand for beer, which I thought.
We were hoping.
Beets, whole lot of headphones and root vegetables. Nope. Burgers.
Yeah, huh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Burgers. And they said it is not a permanent name change, that they will go back to just being IHOP, but for now it's IHOB.
Good, because Mickey D's is going to have to change the name to McRib if you're going to name it after stuff that's bitching and then goes away.
Right.
Where's that guy? What's that guy that used to come in the studio and tell us what was happening?
Oh, Derek. yeah.
Derek.
Where is he?
Together we could take him because he's young and very fit. So we both. Somebody hit him while he's not looking, but tell him to bring back the McRib and stop yelling at him.
Derek, bring us the McRib. He disappeared. I think there was a riot over the Szechuan sauce.
Is that true?
And I
Yes.
think he got taken down in the great Szechuan riots of the late
2018.
2017.
News this morning brought to you by Les Schwab. We have music news, we have entertainment, we have sports all next, so stay with us. If you would like to get the first official Led Zeppelin book, it's available for pre-order now for $69.95. Led Zeppelin by Led Zeppelin will be published in October. And they said this is the gang all back together again. Well, the ones that are still around.
Yeah.
And that this is the first sanctioned book by them. 400-page volume, previously unpublished photo, artwork, archival photos, etc.
Yeah, it's sweet, but how about you do a concert?
Yeah, seriously. One of America's most acclaimed musical artists has a new record coming out more than 50 years after he died. The newly revived label Impulse says it will release Both Directions at Once, the Lost album, by the John Coltrane Quartet.
Oh, right on.
This is a 1963 recording that they say lies between his youthful style and the exploratory jazz he later embraced.
It also lies somewhere between and I can't take one more second of this.
Yeah.
I lean towards that side, by the way, but I love Coltrane as an idea.
Well, he had recorded a session with his classic quartet, and it went unreleased for unknown reasons until his wife stumbled upon her own personal copy and showed it to the record label, and they said, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's put this out.
How'd this get by us?
June 29th.
Yeah, listen carefully how awesome this is. I'm a little more relaxed just hearing a minute of it.
Yeah.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival is back.
Now that's something worth listening to.
There you go. John Coltrane will not be there, but Justin Timberlake will.
Everybody else will. pretty much.
Everybody else but Coltrane. How you getting to the iHeart Music thing? I'm taking the Coltrane. Getting off of the D stuff.
Justin Timberlake, Jack White, Imagine Dragons, Leonard Skinner. Those are just some of the names that will be in Vegas, September 21st and 22nd, T-Mobile Arena. There's exclusive access to the Capital One cardholders pre-sale happening tomorrow at 10. You can get a Capital One card and get the full lineup info at iHeartRadio.com/Capital One. Plus, we are giving you chances to win tickets all day today.
Yeah. Very cool.
Well, Vince Vaughn was arrested again for driving under the influence.
Which one's Vince Vaughn? Is he 8 feet tall?
Yeah,
Yes.
he is.
Wow, what'd he do?
Driving under the influence.
What an idiot. How do you not know there's Uber? Even I, king of stupid, king of bad mistakes involving cops and people don't like me, would not get behind the wheel after a few drinks. Even why not? Why not Uber? That's a misquote of Russell Wilson. Why not Uber?
You do say you want to be the king of something. I wasn't expecting stupid. to
See?
be what you were your kingdom of stupid.
Yeah, every now and again, Paul tries to depose me, but I do something else.
He was in Manhattan Beach, California. Vince Vaughn, Wedding Crashers, and so much more.
Yeah.
DWI, resisting, delaying, or obstructing police.
We'll make a decision. What'd he do?
They're saying he resisted arrest. But
It's a lot of guy to resist. That's
Yeah.
6'4",
Yeah.
kind of, he's an abrasive dude. That's part of his little comedy act is he gets in your face a little bit. I hope he got a beat down. That'd be hysterical.
Well, they released his mugshot, and he looks really happy. And
Not a bruise on him?
No.
I didn't have the same cops I had.
The last time he was busted, he had huge bags under his eyes, and he just looked terrible. He looks pretty good for
I
a
want him
mugshot.
put in prison, but I will tell you why. Bitterly jealous.
Oh, yeah.
6'4", shut up. Current movie career, but he can't do radio. Haha.
Oh, you didn't hear about his big
His new
contract?
show with iHeart. They're hiring everybody else.
We're being moved to 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., and he's taking over.
It's a fun shift if you're drunk enough.
Season 8 won't be your last taste of Westeros after all. The Game of Thrones is coming to an end, but a prequel series has been given the go-ahead by HBO.
Now, do they hire normal writers to do something when it's a spin-off of Game of Thrones instead of the fat guy in a hat?
Typically,
Yeah, I would
what
think
they
so.
do is he will have the final stamp of approval.
Right, but somebody who's in a rush will write them.
Yeah, this is going to be a woman named Jane Goldman, who is the author, screenwriter for Kick-Ass and Kingsman.
Okay.
He will write the script, and then she will actually make it into a screenplay. She'll make it television worthy, but he is going to write the idea.
So they
the
still
premise.
have to
idea,
wait
not
for
the
him to
script.
write something.
Yes.
He's not going to write the part where the little dwarfy guy said this to the chick with no pants on. He won't do that.
He's going to write the storyline.
Story, yeah. All right.
And then she will.
I guess if it's a prequel, they're his characters. He's got to
Yeah.
tell us where they came from.
Right, and he's got to write to them and he'll get paid. But
Yeah.
aside from that, I don't want to wait on this guy anymore.
Right.
He's a bum.
A bum.
I tell you.
Details are scarce, but the prequel will take place thousands of years before the events that unfold in Game of Thrones.
Wow. What year do you figure the things happen in Game of Thrones?
Remember, this is a fantasy. So
Right.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I have no idea what
How
year
can
it
he
is.
say it's thousands of years earlier if you don't qualify what year it is?
True.
I go Bronze Age.
All right.
Doesn't it seem Bronze Age to you?
Seems very Bronze
So
Age.
thousands of years before that, somebody's going to be discovering fire on this thing.
Yeah, what year did the dragons go extinct?
65 million years ago.
Okay. So it's
So I'm
slightly
assuming you
before
mean a
that.
pterodactyl.
Because there's still dragons
Yeah,
in
there's
the
still
show.
dragons, this crazy show.
The famous oak from the Shawshank Redemption is the ultimate giving tree because 25 years after the movie came out, it is still giving fans a way to celebrate. Now, you remember that tree is where Andy left his note for Red before
No.
hightailing it south of the border.
Paul, do you remember where that tree is?
I don't remember where the tree is, but I can see it in my mind.
It's surrounded
I
by a
remember the movie.
rock.
Yes.
It has no business being there.
That's right. Yeah.
It looked okay to me. I don't know how anybody found that.
Well, the tree was damaged during a thunderstorm in 2016. The owners of the property have been using the lumber to make collector's items, and they are doing something in time for the 25th anniversary. Slices of the trunk are getting a special engraving saying the Shawshank Redemption,
Yeah.
25 years, $65.
Okay, you're kind of a weirdo. And, the movie's okay.
What?
It's not the end of the world
It's
good.
an awesome film.
All right, let me ask you this. Who's the picture of in his
Rita
cell?
Hayworth is the
Rita
first
Hayworth.
one, yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How did he climb through that hole and then put that poster up just as tight as if he did it from the other side?
He had tape on the back, too, so that he could pull on the tape and
Yep.
tape it back up.
Wouldn't get you at the corners, my friend. The holes on it. It's a stupid plot.
You're looking for holes that don't exist.
I am, exactly. So that's what they do in jail, you know.
I've probably seen that movie 100 times just because it's on all the time. And every time it's on, you go, oh, I kind of like this movie.
Here's what I would say if I was Morgan Freeman in that movie after the very first scene of this happening. I'd be going, wait, I forgot. What? Guantanamo is the town? Guantanamo Bop Bam Boom? That's where I got to go? Could you write that down?
Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston are working on a comedy that will star, as well as those two, Luke Evans, and this is Murder Mystery. Adam Sandler plays a New York cop who finally takes his wife, Jennifer Aniston, on a long-promised European trip. But a chance meeting on a flight with a mysterious man, played by Luke Evans, gets them invited to an intimate family gathering on a super yacht.
So this woman cannot get through one marriage, is what you're saying. She's going to meet some guy on an airplane, and then you run off with somebody, and you adopt 97 kids from Istanbul or wherever.
No. The billionaire whose yacht they're on gets murdered, and Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston are the prime suspects in a modern-day whodunit.
All right. The butler.
Netflix.
Spoiler alert. The butler did it. Always Butler did it.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the new film from Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, yeah, with like 1 million people in it.
It just got to be 1,000,001.
I cannot believe that many people are dying to work for him. His use of the N-word, I guess he thinks it's okay, like in the Django Unchained.
Mm-hmm.
Every other word, and you say it right to Jamie Foxx's face. I don't know that I could do that. But anyway, I don't think it's that necessary to constantly use that word.
Well, this movie will be based on the 1969 Helter Skelter murders by the Manson family. And Margot Robbie will be playing Sharon Tate. Other people who are on this film, Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Kurt Russell, Burt Reynolds, Timothy Oliphant, Damian Lewis, Dakota Fanning, Luke Perry, Emile Hirsch.
Did you say Daniel Day-Lewis?
I did not.
Oh.
Damian
Lewis.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And now Al Pacino and James Marsden have signed on.
Who's James Marsden?
He's one of the guys in Westworld, in the HBO Westworld.
Super handsome younger dude. He was also in that movie that was half animated where he chases around like a squirrel or a rabbit.
Oh, so he does stupid movies.
No, he's super handsome.
Oh, I believe he's super handsome. But what's he doing with Al Pacino in the same sentence? There's Al Pacino. Oh, yeah, and some other guy.
This is the first time Al Pacino has worked with Quentin Tarantino.
I believe he said, hoo-ah! Thought how happy he was.
Yeah.
Little People, Big World. That's a very successful reality series that stars little people in a big world.
Well, actually, the world's the same size, right? Just appears big
for
because they're
them,
dwarves.
The Guinness Book of World Records has officially recognized this series as having the most episodes of a family-focused reality television program.
Oh, did they also get the award for most exploitation of dwarves?
And how family focused is it? Because that family split up several seasons ago. They just keep taping because nobody show's successful.
Throw in another dwarf and they think we won't notice. I will.
They are peacefully separated.
Who is?
The main couple, the Roloffs.
Yeah.
So they have done 307 episodes.
Wow.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
For reality.
For anything. Partridge Family gets talked about 50 years later, mostly by me. And it was 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Ocean's 8, the female-fronted box office
bonanza.
It was #1 at the box office. I meant to say just female-fronted movie. I lost a couple words there.
What did it gross?
41.5.
And they, because I just happened to see us on TV, they hope to get 35, so above expectations.
Well.
Yep.
And it looked good, to be honest.
Yeah, it really does.
41.5 million at the box office, overtaking Solo: A Star Wars Story. Now, all of the 3 new wide releases at the box office this weekend were female-fronted. However, Hotel Artemis, starring Jodie Foster, tanked. Let's see.
How'd that scariest movie of all time do?
Much better than expected.
Yeah?
13 million for a rated R horror movie.
Yeah.
They said much better than expected. So at #1, Ocean's 8, followed by Solo: A Star Wars Story, Deadpool 2, Hereditary, Avengers Adrift at #6. That Hotel Artemis total tank, 3.2 million.
True. And they're all female-fronted?
Yeah.
Not Deadpool.
No, the three
new movies
out were all female-fronted.
That's cool, I guess.
unusual. Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUIOA, 1-800-DUIOA. The Mariners won 2 out of 3 over the weekend, including yesterday where they threw out a runner at the plate to end it 5-4.
Nice.
New series today. The Angels come to town. First pitch is 7:10. Wade LeBlanc will be doing the pitching. We are presently tied with Houston. Go Mariners.
Go Mariners.
Yeah.
And
Paul and I have our tickets to the World Series.
We do, yeah.
Big news for UW baseball. They knocked off Cal State Fullerton and are headed to the College World Series for the first time ever.
Hey.
Huskies, Bulldogs next Saturday. It is either going to be noon or 5, depending on ESPN's choice. Some weird baseball news. Atlanta Braves, they have a pitcher named Anibal Sanchez. He was on the mound playing the Dodgers over the weekend, and somebody said, "Oh, Annabelle's on the mound tonight. Let's go rob his house."
All right.
$100,000 in jewelry, 4 watches, and other items stolen from him.
This has happened with other professional athletes, too. Where
It's also happened
they
with
know where
movie
you're going to
stars.
be, yeah.
Yeah, they're
But
at award shows and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's become, I don't want to say common, but with athletes in particular, they know for a fact
By the
that
way,
their family are not going
I
to be
kind of
home.
blame him.
Why?
What's this guy's name?
Annabelle?
Yeah, first of all, I blame him for having a girl's name. And then secondly, I blame who has $100,000 worth of jewelry and is a real person.
Every single athlete.
Well, get over it. If you have $100,000 worth of jewelry, wear it to the thing, leave it in the locker room.
Right.
Safety Earl Thomas announced yesterday he will not be attending Seahawks mandatory minicamp until his contract situation is resolved. He emphasized that he wants to remain a Seahawk for the rest of his career, but he is currently entering the final of his 4-year, $40 million contract.
Here's what's happening with that. He doesn't want to get hurt in practice without that deal.
Right.
He doesn't want to have a bad couple of days in a row in front of Pete without that deal.
Yeah.
He should, I believe it's his responsibility, but I've had 3 or 4 months left on my contracts in radio, and you start to panic. Do they still want me? Am I going to be here? I'm going to have this? Oh, my God. And I've made a couple bits of noises before I needed to because I was panicking. It was my own panic. I only have 3 months to go. You don't love me anymore. Sign me. Give me a contract. And I'd like a Buick. And they say no to that every time.
This is a year. You were under contract for another year.
It's pretty common, these guys, especially big time players that you need on the team going into the final year of their deal to try and renegotiate before the season starts. But as a fan, you go, hey, we made a deal. Get on the field.
Right to all of that. Well, the word mandatory apparently means nothing. Get him a dictionary as part of his signing bonus.
The Sounders defeated DC United 2-1. They play again Wednesday. The New York Red Bulls. Match time is 5. Yesterday, the Atlanta Dream beat the Storm. And tomorrow, the Chicago Sky come to town with a 7 o'clock tip-off.
Tip-off.
Yep.
And that's a look at your sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUIOA. Tomorrow on the show, action-packed, my friends.
Yeah.
7:50, my filthy forecast. And at 7:20, another pair of tickets to see Jimmy Buffett June 23rd at Key Arena.
And don't forget, if you don't mind being really, really sad, my friend David Cassidy's very last television appearance, his biography. It's on tonight, right?
It is on tonight.
On
at
A&E.
9
That's at what time?
9 p.m. on
9
A&E.
p.m. And I will tell you, David, it's real rough to watch. If you're a fan, I will give you that. Although I have heard through many of my sources, we're awesome.
That you look great.
That we look great
Yeah.
because they shoot all of us. So if you want to watch that, you can. And speaking of contract negotiations, I heard this
What
guy.
are you starting, man?
I'll tell you this. Steve Slayton's deal was just about up. And I said, oh, no. Another $800,000, even if it has to come out of my pocket. And Steve said, listen, I already get $950. You're going to have to do better than that.
Is that
Either
what you
way,
have in your pocket now?
on me at this second. That $1 million talent that is Steve Slayton's going to walk in this room and play a bunch of classic rock and roll because that's just what he does. We will get out of his way. Bye.